to a little bit of why just now. We have picked out some clips, so we've gone through our players. Now, it was fairly straightforward to come up with the players, wasn't it, Demo? We didn't have too much of a difficult time deciding, you know, who the 5 best players should be here. But one thing that we did struggle a little bit with was the clips, because we just didn't feel like there was anything that was too brilliant knocking around.
Look, I think this season, compared to where it was last year, there hasn't been as many clutches this season. And I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. I'm not saying that, you know, it's a shame that we're not seeing these clutches happen, these big moments happen. You can look at it 2 ways. It speaks volume that maybe we haven't had the greatest of Siege, because there has been some bad performances. I think we have to admit that from some teams. They've let us down. But at the same time, I think there's been some really good performances for a team where they haven't allowed clutches to happen against them. There hasn't been those moments of chaos where you think, oh my goodness, what's happened?
And when we're looking for a big Hollywood moment, it's kind of hard to find.
It makes our job very difficult.
Start playing a little bit more monkey-like, and it'll make our jobs a little bit easier. But we are going to kick things off here. I believe we're going to be starting off with a clip from Quick. Now, this is... We had to go into the replay file and take this from his POV. Quick had a bit of a life game here, didn't he, Demo?
This clip, you didn't actually get to see this on the stream, but Quick then, he went and posted on social media his POV, and whenever I seen the POV, we had to include it here today. Probably the best heads-up gunplay I think we've had this season, and I think that speaks volume to it. Alibi crutch. It has to be an alibi crutch. There's no way it's not going to be an alibi crutch. But yeah, you'll just see Quick. It was a great performance from him on this map. And because of what he was able to do an alibi and Nuke in this game, it did warrant a target ban that we've seen happen yesterday. But yeah, look at that for a free K. Just 1, 2, 3, all in order, knocks him down. Yeah, great work for Quick.
I think Quick had such an important game for Jailings there, and it was almost a shame to not see Jailings go a little bit further, but it just came down to that consistency. When we're almost singling them out as, you know, this was a really clutch play, there's definitely a reason for that, and because it wasn't a consistent thing. The next clip that we've got is the clip that never really should have been. We shouldn't be sat here watching this JEGS clip, but guess what? We are. 1 versus 5, ace clutch, and the diffuser's planted, and JEGS, he shouldn't win this Demo.
The Wanderers. That is what it's all about. And I think this, for me, obviously, I know. The clutch, yes, it's a 1v5, but if you're if you know what Siege is supposed to be like, and you know what, you value good Siege, you know for a fact that this clutch, it wasn't down to JEGS and being exceptional. It was down to Dunlimited taking the mick. That's what it was down to. And I think for that clip specifically, it was more about when it came in that game.
Yes.
I think how it wasn't more about, oh, it was the clutch. It was just how it happened. And for me in a game like that, 4-2 down, 10-star were looking so shoddy in that game. Dunlimited have everything going for them. And that round, if they had won that round 5-2, game would have been dead. I think 10-star knew that themselves. Yeah. And it actually benefited both teams, because 10-star then they knew it was a bad performance. They went on to look what they've done to the other teams they've played against. And for Dunlimited, they've actually gotten so much better. Yeah. They haven't had a moment like that since that happened.
It is impressive, and it was a real defining point, I think, in the season, because 10-star, as we know, have gone on to get themselves into the grand finals, and Dunlimited, well, guess what? They're playing later on today. Our final clip is a clip that can only be described as brilliant, a clip that can only be described as, that's so good. Did I do a good job?
No. Yeah, this is for me probably the genius play off the split that we had. Zanoxo on the dock, a lovely bit of dock tackers to start things off today, and yeah, using the stims, Capitao Fire, just being able to use that the way that dock's been changed. You can just stim yourself back up to full HP, and yeah, and just waste through a Capitao arrow. I thought it was incredible to see. So yeah, all hats off to Zanoxo. I think a great bit of counterplay, knowing that Capitao's probably going to make an appearance of a Wamai ban. And everything goes into that, so yeah, I have to give him credit for it. It put a smile on my face.
It's good creativity, and that's what we like to see. We like to see these players getting creative in the server and showing us some new things. I hope that everyone's enjoyed it, because that has been our sofa section for the season. We've certainly enjoyed watching. I can't wait to see what's going to go on later with Dunlimited versus Mkers. But for now, we're going to throw it to a very short break. After that, we'll be back with the desk to break it down and to set up for our final game.
Feel the darkness been built up enough, so let's just dive right into it. Mkers against Dunlimited, the team that's looking to take on 10-star in the grand finals after they knocked both of these rosters into this lower bracket, which is quite an interesting storyline here. Dunlimited, they have not lost a game, actually, since they have been in this lower bracket. They have not lost a single map. They went 2-0 on every single one of their games, and the only map that they lost, only 2 maps, actually, because it was a best of 3, was against 10-stars. So coming into this lower bracket, they have had a miracle run.
They've had a fantastic run, and you said about losing the 10-star. They should have beat 10-star 2-0.
Oh, okay.
We spoke about it. It was that they could have been 5-2 up. JEGS popped off. The guys spoke about it a little bit earlier, so I'm not going to talk about it in any more detail. But from that point on, it looks like they've really improved the mistakes that they had. The big thing for me was working on their flank watch. And I don't think I've seen them got flanked properly once since that moment. They've really locked that in since the game against 10-star. So they've evolved from that point. But as a 5, they're just so fun to watch. You know, Whippet's going to talk about Mkers in a little bit and the fact that they have maybe 3 really good players who've been joined by new ones. Everyone on Dunlimited can have an impact. Army's had some fantastic games. Nordwin's had some big games. Ewe has been brilliant. Rorik and Hypex, they've all been so good. Look, once again, look at the entry stats. Rorik is now up to 23 entry engagements, 23 entry kills, which is over a third of his total kill tally. That's a really impressive value. Now, what does that say about what he does later in the round? Maybe he's not as impactful as he could be, but every single player in Dunlimited has stepped up when they've needed to. And if I was Mkers, you can't really plan for any one individual because any one of these guys can pop off.
Well, you said it from Dunlimited. It's the flank watch, really, that was something that was maybe their weaknesses. But the fact that they haven't been flanked very often, is that due to the fact that Dunlimited has gotten it together, or is it due to the fact that they've played against Wild and Ascent, who haven't really shown up as much on the day as we expected them to?
I think Wild are a team that can flank anybody, so the fact that they fixed it against them, I think it's easy to fix a bad flank watch. You just set up a better drone network, and you know, you don't have your players wander, as Demo keeps giving out about. You know, you give them a job to do and they should do it. And even just being conscious and being aware of the scenario and the situation. Yeah. Like, you've 2 or 3 players swinging from the same spot. They've not done it since. So I think they've really fixed that.
Well, they're up against Mkers, though, the team that could potentially be exploiting these flanks here, Whippet.
They have that potential to, but Mkers, they make their impact so early in a round. It's one of the kind of the key stories of this team, how they make that impact. And Akwi, he's the guy. He's been him right now for this roster. Always there, always putting up numbers. Lolo has had an impressive run of form as well. Doesn't show up as consistently, but when he does, is a very scary prophet. Dora, newer additions to this team have blended in perfectly. Gemini has been on this core as well for a long time. This is a very good side and a very dangerous one for Dunlimited. But the big kind of thing I'm looking at is if they can't impose their style of play early in rounds, they're going to struggle. And the way they do it is they have a fantastic beginning drone network. They start off with drones well placed around the map, and then they send Lolo Akwi with a drone ahead of them, and that's how they try and get their entryways. And if this is read into, and if this is exploited, Dunlimited might be able to fight that and slow it down completely. If you stop Akwi, you stop Lolo from having an impact early, well, you mute the entirety of Mkers, and they've struggled with that adaptation, making changes. We saw it on Skyscraper against 10-star and on J-Lings, where they can't make late round adjustments as well as other teams. And if that first plan A fails, that transition to plan B begins to get to be a problem.
Yeah, and looking at individual players as well from both of these rosters that we should be keeping an eye out, that potentially could be having the biggest impact. We're going to be starting off with Mkers on this time out. Lolo, you already highlighted him with it. So once again, this man is just doing everything right.
When Lolo is awake, hitting shots, and there is one of the scariest presences you can meet. You run into him in a one-on-one gunfight, the chances are you're going to lose it. He is that good. Nordwind, not going to be so, you know, you'd be scared. You have to be scared of as well. These two titans clash. But look at the performance Lolo's put in. That EPS 121, so high. KD ratio as well, on a 72% cost, has had an impact in so many key and critical rounds, and plays a variety of roles as well. Yana on the offense and goes on that Warden, which you typically see is a way more kind of anchor style defender as well. And a little bit, he's got a lot of kind of a jack of all trades style around him.
Yeah, Nordwind, on the other hand, it seems to be maybe a little lower in terms of EPS, in terms of KD, cost as well, but still one of the players that you wanted to highlight.
Yeah, I wanted to highlight him because these stats don't look that good. But look at the performance he had yesterday. Mm-hmm. Every single stat was above those values. He was the MVP in both maps in that game against That game against Ascendi was incredible from start to finish. To me, we wanted to highlight him because of that, because it is that fact that everyone on Dunlimited can pop off at any time and win a game for them. Lalo, as Whippet said, is an incredible player. Like, to me, he's one of the guys that probably should be playing in and around EUL. You know, he's been really good for such a long time, and he'll be hoping to maybe put in a performance today that once again can show that he can play at that level.
Definitely both teams are looking to put forward a performance. And if you guys have paid attention to the pre-show, I might have not mentioned it, but there was going to be an exam, and the exam is happening like right now, so good luck. It was the maps. We spoke about the maps, what was most picked, what had the highest win rate on the attacking side. Do you remember what that was? No? Okay, well, it was Oregon in this case. So is that a map that we are expecting to be seeing once again? Or when it comes to the play style from Dunlimited, that's something that they'd rather avoid?
We've seen Oregon being played by Dunlimited twice now, and both times it was really impressive. So I would say if I was Mkers, I'd be looking to get it out of the pool.
Yeah, I mean, Dunlimited during the group stage, undefeated on this map. They were so strong in Oregon. And while you might look at a team that likes to get aggressive, be in your face in a linear map, you might, that might not work. It works out perfectly for them. And they've played it very, very well every time they've been there. So for Mkers, they might want to dodge it. I don't think they will. They'll leave it up there.
Okay.
Everyone can play that map.
Let's see if you're right. Let's see if Mkers don't want to head over to Oregon and whether or not Dunlimited is going to be getting that pick now. The first map to be coming through. Oregon, it's going to be banned out by Dunlimited, if anything. So a little bit of a shocker here.
Well, I'm not surprised to see them get rid of Skyscraper because of the fact that that attacker win rate is so low and how good that Mkers have shown that they can play there on defense. The maps that they're going to play, though, Chalet and Bank are the two maps we are guaranteed to see. Chalet is a perfect Dunlimited map. It's really good for how they play. Bank, Mkers are going back there after the game yesterday.
Tensor have laid the foundation. If you want to know how to beat Mkers on that map, Tensor have shown you
Watch
yesterday.
Yeah, but that also brings a little bit of a concern in terms of the fact that they want to go to Bank once again. Have they improved? But it's been such a short period of time. Have they potentially not have any other maps that they're just as comfortable with? And do they feel like today Bank is their thing? They can take on Dunlimited?
When you think of the game yesterday against 10 Star on Bank, there were a couple of rounds they let away that they could fix very easily. The two plants that 10 Star were able to get off down by server are plants that could very easily be denied. Put the smoke, the toxic babe on the roof instead of on the wall. Those plants don't happen. That's very easy to fix. It's something you can work on. They definitely want to come back here because they've put some very good performances on Bank.
Yes.
I think, yes, Dunlimited probably will have watched the VOD from last night and maybe work on how they can fix it, but I still think there's a reason why Mkers want to come back here, and Dunlimited will have a tough ask if they want to win that map.
What about Chalet? Why is Chalet in the pool?
Well, Dunlimited have played very well on Chalet. I mean, look how they went against Ascend on this. They made Ascend they brought Ascend into deep water on a map like Chalet, and they looked perfect on it. Dunlimited were so strong the way they were able to completely control the pacing and force Ascend into those kind of plan A to plan B transitions, which they struggled with. And Dunlimited are a dynamic team. They can punish you for that kind of lack of speed, lack of aggression on that transition. And I do feel that they're going to have a very good chance of putting out a massive performance on Chalet in particular.
Yeah, Mkers also struggled a lot in terms of attacking some of these sites. So what can Mkers do? What can we expect them to do here?
Follow the checklist. When you're on attack, do things by the book and create those opportunities. Don't do what Ascend are guilty of doing sometimes, and if
they're not here for a reason.
Yeah, exactly. If plan A is not working, they go to plan B too quickly. They don't try to solve the problem that's put up in front of them. So work out what Dunlimited is doing on defense. Try find the weak spot. Go for it. Attacking, it's one of those things. It always sounds easier on paper to attack than it actually is. Yeah,
Dunlimited, we've heard it multiple times in the interviews as well. They're very calm, very collected, and very calculated as well, because a lot of the games that they play, an incredible amount of preparation has gone into it. So from the side of Unlimited, as you mentioned, they've definitely watched the VOD. So it feels like potentially this could be their chance to just make this a 2-0.
They're a side that likes to have good preparation, and again, you've recently seen this team yesterday play on Bank, so they'll come in with a little bit of confidence for that second map. A little bit of a kind of a vice versa on that one. Dunlimited play a lot of Chalet. They've shown their cards here. Mkers are going to redo that, and Mkers, another team that I really believe benefit from a good preparation and understanding. You throw back inside of the group stages, for example. They were very prepared for Tensor when they played them on Bank the very first time. That's why they got a 7-1 result against them. When they replayed in the group stages later on that second week, Tensor will get their revenge because they played a map that Mkers weren't expecting. If you can catch Mkers off guard and on a map they don't expect you to play, it can be a problem. But Dunlimited, they've shown a lot of Chalet so far.
Well, we're going to be heading over to Chalet as the first map for Dunlimited up against Mkers. And the casters that will be walking us through this are going to be Ollie and Demo once again. So guys, take it away.
Thank you, Ginny. Walking, Demo? I don't know about that. I want to run. I want to know what's going on. I want to know who's going to win.
Run.
Dunlimited. Yeah, me. Run. Dunlimited versus Mkers here to decide who takes a spot with 10-star in our grand final. We've got some pretty good maps here, Demo. I'm into it. Bit of Chalet, bit of Bank.
Yeah.
Oof.
I am very worried for Dunlimited based off the maps.
Oh, I'm not.
You're not?
No.
Why?
So, they've shown a lot of Chalet. We know that Mkers like to prep. So I know that's why you're worried.
And that's not why you're worrying?
No,
No,
but I'm just... I believe. I believe in this lower bracket run.
Look, listen to me, right? Listen to me very, very clear. What did Kangaroo Kenny say yesterday?
Kangaroo Kenny has got the blueprint.
He said that Mkers are very good in terms of their prep. 10-star banned Chalet themselves because they knew
Scared.
you leave a map open that you've shown a lot to Mkers, they'll beat you on it, right? Dunlimited have played Chalet 3 times so far. Mkers haven't played it.
But
Mkers were... If Mkers are confident enough to leave Chalet open against 10-star, surely they'll be happy enough to play against Unlimited. I'm telling you, I don't... And the thing is as well, if we actually look at the way Dunlimited have attacked Chalet, same stuff over and over again. I'm telling you, I don't feel
Repeatable.
comfortable. And you can say,
Consistent.
you know, they're saying about, oh, Bank, you know, Bank's second map, Mkers, they lost Bank. Look, 10-star, they put them up. Mkers did not play a good Bank.
And it was a max OT.
Smoke lineups.
Yeah, it was a max OT.
Like, I'm telling you, it's not looking good.
Demo, on paper, I believe you.
Thank you.
You can't argue with the facts. You can't argue with the numbers. However, Kangaroo Kenny said that he had the blueprint. If I was a Dunlimited player, I'd have been in Kangaroo's DMs last night, and I'd have been going, yo, what's going on? Give me the juice. Let me know what's going on. Maybe you passed it over. Maybe you passed on the knowledge. We will see. Dunlimited going to be starting off on the attack here tonight. Now, we've not seen anything too exotic in the bans. A castle.
That's not exotic for you?
Well, we've got a castle ban.
Castle ban?
All right. We've got one exotic ban demo. It's a castle. The rest, part of the course.
Yeah.
Nook, Azami, and a Ying. None of which are really anything to write home about. The castle ban is the more interesting one of the 4, I guess.
So there's a few strategies that you can employ with Castle. Most of it would be centric around holding in towards kitchen, for example. That would be primarily where you'd like to use Castle. It's good if you're looking for a basement and you want to try and extend upstairs and try and hold the hatch from above. That's doable for you. Other than that, Castle doesn't play too big of a role inside a Chalet. It's certainly not the most universal operator that you can bring for anything, because some castle barricades can really lock you out with some good avenues that you'd want to have as a roamer, so that's one thing you have to be careful about. So it's certainly, Dunlimited must have seen something.
It's specific, isn't it?
But like I mentioned, Mkers, they haven't played Chalet yet this season.
Well, they've gone for top floor defense first off. Now, we didn't see any basement yesterday when we saw Chalet. I wonder if that trend is going to continue here. Rorik has already got himself in. There's going to be a player on that library stair. A little bit of a magnet going out there. He's probably going to get pushed here as Lolo is just on the other side. He's getting permanently pinged by the Yokai drone, and he's going to get shot from those main stairs, but turns around and picks him up. Aqua, you got to hit those, friend. Rorik, a great start there. Lolo will fall as well. C4 from below, potentially going to shut him down, but it comes at quite a great cost. Kills still flying in here for Dunlimited. Sorry, he manages to rotate himself off those main stairs, but immediately into the cross. Demo, say what you like. This is dangerous stuff from Dunlimited.
Get you stood up. I feel as if this is a standing game for you.
Goodness.
Right. I've got some questions. Can I get tapped into the comms of Mkers? You've set up with the open holes into the main breach. You've set up the long angles into library. You have a player in blue stairs. And then you've died to somebody jumping in top fireplace.
Defenders, protect your
You've opened up the holes, so that doesn't happen. So how has it happened? Dunlimited have attacked into the setup, and Mkers have just done nothing, even though they have the perfect response for it. I'm confused.
Well, Mkers are stinging enough to recognise they shouldn't really go back up there until they've had time to at least warm up into the game.
I've still said that top floor is still horrendous bomb site.
It's
No matter
an
how
awful
you
site.
defend
It's
it.
an awful site,
You know I've been very adamant about that.
I mean, finally we're getting to see the basement, which,
Thank goodness.
for my money, should be a fantastic site here. You've got the cage.
It's good for defense. You have Kite open, you have Band open.
Got options.
Warden open is the most important operator that you need for basement. Whenever you think about how the basement's actually layered up, you have two main pushes as the attacks, both of which will use smoke grenades frequently. You will have smoke grenades because you need to cover off a lot of different crossfires, the long angles, and that's really the main issue for the attackers, is actually getting into the bomb site and trying to avoid all of those different crossfires. Smoke grenades are a must. Because of that, Warden then comes out as the counter.
It's quite the roam knocking around here from Mkers as well. We've got players spread across all 3 floors currently. Plenty of Valkyrie cameras out there as well to provide that information. Lola will actually miss that drone. Isn't going to cause him too much harm, but
It's in the who has just plants just in the floor, by the way, in
you
their
need
house?
to get rid of the plants.
Who does anyone have any? You've got some random plants in your floor. Anyone? Like, what's the point of that? What's the purpose?
This isn't just a house demo, it's Chalet.
I know, but still.
Hyper's going to get traded out this time. Dokkaebi Call going to give away a couple of locations here. Sorry, having to make a quick move there in through box. But look at these crossfires, Demo.
Pinch.
That is unbelievable from Dunlimited. They aren't wasting any time here, really singling out these players. They've got the tools to do so. We've commented already how efficient they are in the drone game, and they're really making this work. They've managed to find an entry, and they've doubled down on it. A man advantage of 1, and they've taken that top floor.
So the roam game, it's kind of paid off. You've got 1 kill, but still at the same time, I think you'd want to find more of an important pick than Sophia. And
what?
Akwi.
That's the second time that Rorik has just turned around and absolutely murked him.
He's just dashed for the wall, Ollie, and he's just been binned. Basement is supposed to be a little bit more anchor-orientated. You have some really strong operators in the defense. And I don't know, Mkers just running around. Like, even this Kaid kicking about outside again of the site.
I mean, he shouldn't be allowed to be there, really. There should be someone in big garage
Like,
holding him, but Gemini, he's going to pick a second.
Please.
It might not matter that Dunlimited demolished the roam game. They may be about to fall here. The diffuser has been surrendered. Rorik going to be playing the hatch from above. Does have a nade.
Why is he
able to
still
swing
out?
and pick up the kill. Gemini. You can't push your luck that far, my friend. C4 goes out, isn't going to land. The diffuser can be recovered here, and there's 30 seconds in which to do so. Dora hasn't got the easiest task here. We are seeing Dunlimited split, though. Rorik is going to go for a bit of an approach down blue, and Dora knows exactly where he's coming from. Pings his head. How much info has he got as to the location of IWI? IWI going to make his way in, place the air jab out there perfectly. Is it going to save him? The answer, no. A scrappy round, back and forth round, and a lot of questions there, Demo. Both sides really fumbling the bag.
Get me out. Get me out.
Round 2, end of round 2, dropping the GMO.
I don't want to be here. Like,
is this pressure getting to these players already? Because there's a lot on the line here. Let's not forget.
I don't know where to begin. I don't know where to start. Right. Basement, supposed to be a little bit more anchor-orientated. 3 roamers for whatever purpose. All of them get binned. They get 1 kill back. 4-2 advantage. 4-2 advantage. And we've mentioned before how good Dunlimited are from the front. And then there's, again, there's another roamer, another guy out of the bomb site. It's a Kaid who finds 1 guy in trench who then walked into big garage without that person knowing that there's a guy outside a site. He then dies. It's a 2v2. Kaid still doesn't go back into site. Gets picked off by another. 1v2 for Dunlimited. And then what do? They separate. And they give Dora individual 1v1s. Nomad, I'll be honest, that was a very poor 1v1. You've nomad,
Terrible.
you've nomad trapped blue door, and then turned your back to connector, which is the only other place you can come from. What's that about? Am I losing the plot?
No, there was time as well.
Like,
There was time. Could be the pressure. Both these two teams have guaranteed €7,500, but the winner of this game goes on to guarantee themselves €10,000. So
you also want to get the quals for invite as well.
exactly, it's not just the money; it is the open qualifier. So there is a lot on the line. At least we're getting a bit of a tour of Chalet.
Yeah, kitchen now. Again, good sight whenever you know that Kaid's open. Can be good for tricking really both walls. You want to go for the top office ones or just for the site walls, by all means you can do so. I think Dunlimited as well have kind of caught on to the fact that, hey, Kaid's actually been a very frequent pick for Makers. That's bringing the Thatcher now. And Sakov, I think it was the Dokkaebi EMP grenades they were rocking last time. So yeah, better pick up just to assist them and alleviate, you know, any fumbling about trying to figure out where the Kaid Claw is. Just toss it down. That's the thing about Thatcher, the skill. It's just no skill involved. You throw it at a wall and it's going to work.
Rorik could be looking for a bit of a nade over the top here.
ADSs though.
There isn't going to be anything immediately that's going to stop him, I don't think. We have questioned the information here for Dunlimited before, but it usually has been pretty good. It's going to be a nade that's sent in
For half wall.
just to try and destroy a little bit of the floor in there on that top floor.
Yeah, maybe seeing if anyone was going to be lingering in that position, get a free nade kill, but nope. Lolo a little bit more to the right side, you can see close on the door. He's actually waiting for someone to swing into the balcony, and then he's going to go for the run out and get an easy kill, you would expect, but unless anyone goes for the swing, he's going to be useless at the moment. There's the Thatcher EMP grenade, there goes the top wall. But however, Lolo, who can still play aggressive on this half wall, if he doesn't get naded out, he doesn't get pushed out, he can be a nuisance.
Lolo's in a really good spot right now. There are still some drones up for Dunlimited here. Around a minute left, they do need to start that secondary phase of fact-finding because there are a lot of bodies on this top floor that need dealing with. Lolo, maybe looking to play a little bit more aggressively here. He's got a perfect line of sight onto the breach as well, so he has to be dealt with here. Army going to take a ton of damage. He's left on 1 HP. Don't think he's actually going to successfully get that wall off for the time being. 2 kills come in as these top floor players start to deliver. IWI will swing in and find himself 1. That's the important player above dealt with, but damage now has been done. Hypex and Army left as the only 2 survivors. Hypex is trying to clear this top floor, but you get the feeling, Demo, that it's a little bit too late. There's only 20 seconds or so left on the clock here, and the players have since retreated down those trophy stairs. Hypex can push in all he likes here, but the inevitable will happen. Akwi and Story going to close things out there. Mkers standing firm on that top floor, and uncharacteristically, we see Dunlimited really struggle there with that attack, Demo.
Yeah, Dunlimited, again, we've mentioned before, basic attacks is what they're all about, and they do them well. That's the difference. You may think, oh, there's the basic team, but if you do the basics right, you are a force to be reckoned with. We know that from experience. Probably 2 things let them down. I would say hesitation to either or aggressively pushing the players above, or hesitating and actually playing more passive and letting the defenders actually walk into sight lines. It seemed as if that the attackers were swinging into them rather than the other way around. You have to remember about that site. It's very easy for the attackers to stop defenders playing vertical, because realistically the only vertical you can gain that is going to be of any use is going to be in that half wall area that looks down onto the main breach. The second thing that really let Dunlimited down was, I think, just too slow. I don't think they really were quick enough. Like, the setup for Makers, it wasn't extravagant. It wasn't something that's going to waste a lot of time. It's a very simple upstairs hold. That's never going to be a threat to holding in towards library. You can take library very quickly. You can take into lobby very quickly as well.
What is this? What is this?
So I know exactly what this is. How many times have we seen Dunlimited where they would specifically utilize a lone player on that bathroom window in the final few seconds to swing around and find these free picks? That's happened quite a few times for Dunlimited, and I think Makers have caught on to that.
Is the shield there to protect the ADSs?
I think also the shield is there not only because I mentioned before there will be somebody who will rotate towards the bathroom window. Dunlimited have shown that they can attack both sides. They can attack in towards library and go very default with the main breach, but they've also got a very nasty solar take. And having that shield inside of bathroom, It's going to be great. Dunlimited, they will use nades from below. Can you nade the bathtub? No, you can't. The shield's always going to be there.
We did see a fairly one-dimensional push last time from Dunlimited, and
nobody's in the tub though, which does worry me.
We are seeing a little bit more bite to this push. We've got a player on the solar windows. We've got Hypex just outside of bathroom. Lolo going to get taken out from double window. This is the Dunlimited that we know. Why can't they attack like this, Demo, when they're attacking into the kitchen? It's the same setup almost.
I mean, I don't understand why there isn't anyone in the bathtub. You've set up that utility for this exact take, and they're not using it. Dora, what are you doing? He's just decided to slip into the smoke, but he's just been shot by Rorik, and now Mkers on the back foot. There's that single player again lingering on the bathroom window, Ollie, which is going to give them all kinds of headaches. And yeah, Mkers, I thought that they looked as if they were ready for this solar take, but nope, apparently not.
Clearly not. Sorry's going to put some good damage in onto Rorik and eventually find the headshot. Hop in through to the bathroom is going to cause a little bit of concern here for Akwi as he has to push on through. Gets tagged up from that main window, but it's going to be Sorry that takes the brunt from IWI.
Oh, no.
Akwi pushes round, finds one in solar. He knows that somebody's on main window. He has to hit this shot, but IWI holding the horrible head glitch angle is a little bit better. Pings him there. Dunlimited, where was that attack in round number 3? It's the same push. Fundamentally, there is no difference.
I just have to question Mkers.
You've got to question the utility placement.
I have to question Mkers. The setup, I thought, was very smartly for that solar take. Getting a player outside a bathtub with a shield with 2 ADSs isn't easy. It's not an easy job.
It's going to be a nightmare.
It's getting the angles in. It's because you have to remember, if you're in the very far corner of the bathtub, you cannot be seen from bathroom window. So it is a blind spot, essentially. You can't be seen from solar windows.
Yep.
It's going to be one angle that you're basically fighting onto from the top of solar, or unless that guy jumps the bathroom window, which, as we know, is risky.
I followed you into bathroom window a few times, fearlessly.
You can't be... whatever happens in the strat, you're not allowed to repeat on cast, because then people will know what to do against me, and I can't be having that. All I'm saying is, to be fair, if there was Stadium Bravo in this pool, if there was your favelas, all that, we'd be cooked. We'd be cooked. EP, yeah. If that was if we could see those maps be played in the competitive pool, not only would my ranks that be the best team in the world, but I think I'd be giving away a lot. I couldn't help myself because I'd be saying, "Oh, that's what we'd." Oh, I can't say that. I can't say we do that. That's tricky. That.
Nice close game so far. 2-2. Couple rounds left here on the starter sides.
Worried about Lolo. We put him in as number 2 in the season, Ollie, and yeah.
Listen, Demo, that's our list, and no one can say anything otherwise.
That's true. That's true. You guys may have an opinion. We're here to tell you it's wrong.
But you would be right in saying that Lolo's having a bad game at the moment.
Yeah, he's having a stinker. I mean, he's on alibi. Surely that's going to give him something.
I think they've been handing the alibi around, Mkers, really, haven't they?
Out.
It's just been, you know, oh, you need a couple of kills, jump on the alibi.
I hate that op. Did I tell you I hate that op rare?
Yeah, you have mentioned it.
Do keep in mind, this is a basement. Don't let your eyes deceive you. This is, what is it, the 4-man roam setup, it appears to be. And last time, Dunlimited basically just tore limb from limb. It was more of a bad 4v2 in the later stages that they had issues with. But once more, the opening pick goes in favor of Dunlimited. Mkers, probably, I think you fall back. You learn from your mistakes. You lost the last kill last time, and it went from bad to worse. I think you've wasted some time. Just go. Just leave.
I think you can't get distracted and start thinking, oh, well, we've got good roaming ops. Like, you just can't do that. You've got to go back to the site and just recognize, yeah, we've lost out on the roam here.
Yeah, see, that's what I mean.
That's his second kill on the opener.
That's from the hatch.
A nightmare.
Is that from the hatch? Oh no, that's the guy inside of the corridor.
They've opened all of these lines of sight for them to play with. Now we're going to see the retreat back to site, but is it a little bit too late? That's only a clone. Gathering a little bit of info there. Lolo got himself onto blue. Akwi's still up and about. Now he's on the Oryx, so he can move slightly quicker than some. But he does need to keep himself safe because essentially he's leaving his teammates in a 2 versus 5 on site.
Dunlimited are in such a good position. You've dealt with the roamers. You have 2 picks. Now you just go basic. You open up the walls and you essentially just flood site. You have the man advantage. You can take those trades and you will win them because you've done really well in the opening game. Akwi does go for the flank, and how has Rorik let that happen to him? Rorik, mate, you don't have to play the hatch. All you have to do is stop him using the hatch.
Akwi's actually made himself back down onto the site now. Lolo going to find one onto Norwind. It's all falling apart. Army comes in and attempts to try and save the day. But Dora has the long angle and is going to shut IWI down on the push. Potentially looking for a second here. Smoke going to cloud the waters here as Hypex takes a load of damage. Army going to try and get the plant down. There's only 8 seconds left. Oh, desperate push on through. Drawn for the pistol. Keeps himself alive. The plant will be confirmed on the final second. But Hypex is already down. What a round from Dora! Far closer than it ever should have been, Demo. Mkers, successful downstairs.
Dunlimited, they are having a nightmare in the second half of the round. Absolute living nightmare. Mkers have been so headstrong with this roam game. And it's not working. Dunlimited punishing that. 2 kills up. And at the 3v5 stage, right, you go they're such a good team who do minimal takes. And what they had open to them was a minimalistic take. You open up both breaches, you have 4 players, 2 players trench, 2 players in the main wall. That should be how it goes. 1 player should be above, which was the case, it was Rorik. But for whatever reason, Rorik's surprised that he's been flanked by an Oryx. He's surprised about that. He should be hid. He should be hid somewhere inside a kitchen. There's no... What purpose he serves for playing the hatch is beyond me. Because who's swinging hatch? Who's swinging Kinet? Nobody's doing that, right? It just confuses me. And honestly, I have to say, Rorik, you gave the game up. And especially if you know that you're going for a very one-directional take, and the hatch is going to be a big issue. If you know defenders have the hatch control, the push isn't going to exist. And whenever you lose the flank watch, whenever you know then that a defender can be in the hatch, panic stations. Absolute panic. And look what happened. A minute of mayhem out of nowhere.
It was the classic. There are 5 attackers alive, and no one's looking in the right direction. No one's watching the flank. There might be drones set up, but no one's on them. Yeah. Because everyone's alive doing their own thing.
That's 2 times now we're done limited.
And I think that...
Just throw it away.
Well, Rorik got some success on the hatch, didn't he? So he's probably looking for another. Well, they struggled to attack onto Kitchen previously, which is strange given that Dunlimited have been successful attacking the top floor twice. Let's see if they've learned.
Here we go, last attack. Mkers, already. I don't like it, Ollie, already almost being picked off.
It looks scary, doesn't it?
It
looks scary to be a defender against Dunlimited here because they are just taking so many shots.
They're great at the entries. They are great at clearing out. It's very rare that you would see them slip up against roamers. I think they're very concise. I think the way that they attack it in pairs is great. There's nobody who's going in by themselves. And I think the way that Dunlimited are set up, it's really... Anyone can find the opening pick. You know, it's not as if we're dealing with teams where you know who to look at. I suppose for the observer, you know who to spectate. It can be anyone for Dunlimited.
Rorik's probably going to find himself a nade here. Oh no, he actually finds himself. He droned that out. He knew exactly where Cade was playing.
What's he nading?
He's tried to nade the drone hole.
No, has he?
Yeah. He tried to nade the drone hole for Dora. Akwi's going to add on to that pain as Nordwind will be the next to fall. You can almost imagine how this attack is going to go with 2 fewer bodies in the mix. You're going to struggle to clear out that top floor unless Hypex can go on an absolute tear here. IWI and Army going to be preoccupied with making sure this breach gets opened.
Oh!
Great deal there on the C4. IWI is going to find one onto Dora as well. Picks up a second onto Lolo, leveling things out here. This has gone from difficult to doable here for Dunlimited.
Upstairs pressure, though, still in the hands of Mkers, Ollie. Which is the main thing that I think that Dunlimited need to respect. There's nobody actually really looking to push above. In goes the smokes, and this is where Warden is so good. However, misses the Thermite. Never mind, Thermite then still runs in. You hear an MPX, and you'd run for the smoke. In what universe do you go for that? And now WI has to ace. to win the round for his team. 15 seconds, drops down into lobby. Army is bleeding out all over the place, walks in, and he himself gets shut down. Akwi, there he is in that Warden. Wow, confusing there from the Thermite. Very confusing. If you get shot through the smoke by an MPX, why are you still swinging it?
We call those warning shots, Demo. He's fired some warning shots. Guess what the warning is?
I'm a Warden, don't swing me, I can see you.
Just don't move. Like, get back. Find cover. Oh, goodness, Demo. Is this a world first?
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
Have we got an unironic world first here?
Well, we've got a defender-sided Chalet.
No, we've got a Grim.
Oh, there's a Grim?
Attackers discovered the location of a bomb.
Hang on a minute.
Best of luck to you, my friend.
Hang on a minute.
Best of luck to my favourite colour caster.
Did we see a Grim at all during the major?
I've never seen a Grim.
I'm pretty. I heard he was talking about the major. I think it was one of those Grims being teased, but then was quickly kicked off. It was one of those.
Yeah. Well,
I'm not starting the spiel until he's locked in.
You got 8 seconds.
Let's wait. We'll wait and
6,
see. Yeah. See, I mean, this is
so
what I mean. There's no
boring,
point. There's no point me going on a tangent. There's no point.
So boring.
I'll give you the quick rundown. He stinks. All right. That's all you need to know.
Picked into a Thatcher as well. Could have been more of a basic choice. Well, there goes the talking point for the start of this round.
Can we still get back to the fact that Mkers won 4 defenses in Chalet?
Yeah, that's a bit nuts.
Can we get back to that?
Yeah. And it goes to show the things that we've credited Mkers for in the past, which is the preparation. They're very good at it.
Yeah, I think their preparation will be a lot more important now on the attacking side,
Yes.
because I think that Dunlimited and their defense, I think they've done pretty much the same thing over and over again.
They've done similar things on the attack, you know.
Yeah, like I said, they're a team that don't switch up all too often. I'll be honest, I thought Mkers were maybe, you could argue a 5-1. It looks as if they were ready for a solar take, but then they just didn't play it. You know, it was a bit strange in that one round for the top floor, but yeah. Dunlimited.
Oh, nearly a double.
Already opening up with the C4. However, there was still a kill in favor for Mkers. You've lost the nades, which is really crucial for taking those solar stairs. You don't have any nades now. They're trying to play the vertical angle from Big Garage, looks up onto the solar stairs. But what's it really going to do if you don't have the nades to push that guy out? Let's be honest, does Army need to move at all? No. He is safe. There is nothing that will kill him.
Especially given that IWI is going to be playing just below their insider trophy as well.
This is a big issue. Honestly, losing the sledge with the nades.
Yeah, big problem.
Gonna be punishing.
Reactivates the Surrey gate. And the thing is, for all that Sorry's got a nice angle on him, he's still downstairs in the basement. He's got to transition. He needs to move. He can't stay there for the whole round.
He's done that, I think, has he? Has he moved? Yeah.
Yeah, he's moved now. So recognising that, Mkers have gone, you know what, there's nothing we can do about it.
They're going for a West main jump in. This is risky. I just hope that Dunlimited are ready for it.
Ooh, what a great swing there from Army. IWI adding on to the pain as well. 3 kills on the round. Warden really being a hot choice here tonight. Lolo, it's got a long way to go to try and save this, especially when vertical's being opened above you. The diffuser, not quite at his feet, but not too far away. Smokes off to buy himself a little bit more time. But guess what, Demo? We've got a Warden. Never mind, we don't even need it. Nordwin from above. Sees something. Not a lot, but he sees something. Enough for him to put a couple of tap fires down and pick up the kill. It just goes to show how important nades are.
Yeah, for Chalet, it's necessity. You need to have it.
You know, you could say it was a fluky C4. You could say it was lucky. You know, you could have got either of those 2 players, but you've got the right one. You've taken the one out with nades, and then the plan just falls apart.
Yeah, you cannot remove that player in solar stairs. If you don't have solar stairs, you don't have trophy control.
Yeah.
You don't have trophy control, you don't have the site. What do you have to do? West main jump in. Whenever they're still above, we've seen the verticality being opened above them. I mean, even still challenging onto solar stairs from West main. The tricky thing about this is the thing about West main is you're never going to be able to have like a one-sided fight. You're always going to get hit from 2 fronts. If you look towards solar stairs, you're going to get shot by somebody inside of dining. If you look towards dining, you're going to get shot in the back by solar stairs. That's the issue with West main, is you don't give yourself a good fight to go up against 2 different angles.
Something that I'm hoping happens is that Dora actually forgets to 6-pick off Grim one of the rounds.
It's not going to happen, let's be honest.
It might do.
You just... We haven't seen a Grim for a reason. There is a specific reason.
I'm not saying it will be intentional. He's obviously just picking it to then hide his actual pick.
Honestly, pick the Grim so I can show everyone why we don't pick Grim. It's always a good one. This is why you don't do this.
I want to see it.
Surprised he didn't get any buffs. I'm really shocked he didn't get any.
Just keep buffing Dokkaebi.
I mean, we're buffing all the wrong ops. It's the issue with him. Give him nades. Give him nades.
Imagine.
Then we'll see him. But it makes sense, though. Nades with his gadget makes sense. But, oh. Que sera, sera.
Well, nice use of the Thatcher there, just landing it on the door frame, on the window frame, Crossay. Nordwin going to pick up a first kill over onto Sorry's. Managed to stay alive and get away there.
Look at the difference. You've got the nades. It's clear. However, now we're dealing with a different situation. The Buck actually lost the engagement and died. So that's put them down a man. Still, it gives them what they wanted, but you probably would want to have gotten that kill for Mkers rather than the other way around. So that is a bit of an issue for them. They have to now attack the solar stairs. Well,
they still can't do what they wanted. You know, there's still one piece of the puzzle just short.
Yeah, because now you'd probably want to transition your Buck in below and start maybe looking to rip open the floor.
Exactly.
From that's kind of where you want to have them. But instead, they've actually just stormed in towards Bat from Akwi. Look at this decision making. He's just going to go for it. He's going to fully commit, but no, doesn't check the piano angle. Mkers are crumbling. Mkers, it looks to be if... What's happening to them?
Gemini's just died off big window.
Like
Rorik's just swung Gemini off big window with an SMG-11.
Something goes wrong, Ollie, and they just say,
they just press the button.
Well, sure, let's see what happens.
They just press the red button.
Like, I'm all for that if you're in like a 2v4 and there's literally nothing going for it. I'm all for it. But a 4v5
very
where
winnable.
You have solar
very
control,
winnable. Yeah.
Of course it's winnable.
Yeah, very winnable. I mean, Lolo was in Nani. He was stood on the roof just looking through the piano window. And now we wait for 45 seconds.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Is Lolo taking a timeout, or is he actually doing something?
I mean, he's all the way over the other side.
Yeah, I can see his silhouette moving a little bit. He's looking at maybe a bit of an entry here into Library. He's rocking the DMR, so he's not equipped with the F2 to be taking multiple engagements. It is the deafening sound. Dunlimited, they're going to be pretty pleased with themselves here, Demo.
Yeah.
Leveling it up to 4-4. They've gone flawless on their own defenses so far.
You have to start question Mkers. You really do, because I feel as if both the rounds, they just threw it away at going on a win.
10 seconds remaining.
Didn't it just say, I don't know. I think decision-making isn't there for Mkers.
Where's the hamburger call? Where's the call that just says stop?
It's not about them stopping it. There's not really anything going for them. Like, I mean, there is stuff that could be going for them, but they've done something completely different the way that you probably should view it. I think if you're a 4v5 and you have solar stairs, which is obviously what you wanted, right? Still got 4 players. 2 players in solar stairs. You're going to have to use the dead man as the flank watch with a drone inside a trophy. That's what you need to do. 1 guy big window, 1 guy kicked him outside back from her piano window. Still make something happen. I've seen it happen before. Because you have to remember as well for the solar take, the reason why it's very good for attackers sometimes is like the way we view the top floor and the half-wall blind spot, there's also a blind spot that you can tuck yourself into just as you run through the breach on the very left-hand side of that closet door. Or even behind the bomb chassis, behind the bed, that's another plant spot.
There's plenty of options, especially with big window being such a
big window's the kicker, yeah.
Well, we're not going to see top floor for a little while at least, seeing that Dunlimited have been successful there and in kitchen.
Bar?
Instead, we switch over. Fancy a game demo? Maybe a drink?
Game of pool?
Billiards?
Billiards. Why is it called? What's the difference?
I think it's the fancier version of pool, isn't it?
What's the difference?
I couldn't tell you, to be honest.
Isn't billiards where you have to pot 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and like the number of the balls are in order? I'm pretty sure, is that not?
No, is that not snooker?
No, snooker's very different. Snooker is you pot a red, then you choose the color. Pot a red, choose the color, and that's how that goes.
147, anyone?
147 in 5 minutes, Ronnie O'Sullivan.
Yeah.
There's only one man who can beat Ronnie O'Sullivan. Do you know who that is?
Who?
Ronnie O'Sullivan.
Grow up. Library. Always a very important place to keep a hold of here. Rorik. He's usually involved in the opening engagement in some way here from Dunlimited, but he hasn't really got much utility.
And he's an Oxo Docs.
Yeah, where is the doc?
Not here.
No surprise, Rory doesn't stick around there.
I find that incredibly risky bringing a Capitown knowing that Wamai is open.
Where are you going to get the value?
You know, even that is scary, but it's going to work out for them. There's no Wamai, which I suppose you can probably then sit there and question Dunlimited. Where's your
Are they
Wamai?
going to go quick here?
Wamai is so needed for this hold for the top blue stairs, top fireplace, in towards library. Wamai discs are very potent to deal with. They're going to try and smoke off the hatch ollie and jump in under the cover of it, but there's a frostbite I hope they're ready for. If I see Akwi instantly die, I'm going to be furious. He hasn't jumped in.
Something's gone wrong.
They've smoked the hatch, then they can jump in above, so it means that the connector player doesn't die, but he gets shot through the smoke anyway.
Hypex has found one onto Sorry. IWI is downed as well. Akwi, the smoke might have worked, but the rest of the plan hasn't really gone according. Rorik, why have you got the pistol out? Please don't try and Deegan. Please get the MPX. Might not be the best gun, but it's certainly better than the Deagle. Pre-fire Deagle, anyone? Decides to dip back, quite rightly so. Kills still flying here. Akwi actually finding IWI. He was downed already. Finishing him off there with the Firebolt. Hypex adds another to his tally. And somehow we're seeing Lolo get revived. I didn't think that he was going to be able to get picked up there, but library control has slipped into the hands of Mkers.
Yeah, Mkers, they really just went from one side, only from library, not looking to push maybe in towards top fireplace, utilizing the windows that you can have, and obviously that piano balcony looks in towards top blue as well. So very one-dimensional, and it hasn't worked out for them. I think Dunlimited certainly have the man count in their advantage, still having that top floor control essentially. With Hypex still on the flank. Lolo finds one, but this is the danger man Hypex. I don't think they know he's here, Ollie, and yeah, he still has that top floor, can punish them from pillars. Dora walks down to his death also. Dunlimited, they take the lead.
Flawless so far from Dunlimited on their defenses. We have got a confirmed defender-sided Chalet now.
Oh, Mkers rehost though. Here we go. Here we go. Oh.
Well,
week 2, anyone?
Welcome back. I'm sure we'll get the players settled and sorted quite quickly.
Jailings are messaging as we speak. Don't fall for it, Dunlimited. This is how they got us.
To be fair, we've been really lucky so far, Demo. All the tech hosts and all the tech pauses, they've all been in.
It's been the other two.
Whippet and Gibson's games. We've got quite fortunate.
But then again, we had the cast Unlimited and Wild.
Yes.
So the payoff.
I could have done with a break halfway through that one, to be honest.
It was difficult to watch at points.
Well, just as the momentum is slipped over to Dunlimited's side, we do have a issue that we need to sort out for Mkers, so I'm sure we'll get that resolved nice and quickly. But the main thing to take away from this is that Dunlimited is certainly here for a fight. And for all that Mkers have prepped, some of their prep hasn't really worked out for them, Demo.
Decision making today hasn't been there.
You can prep as much as you like, but if you're making bad calls in the server,
yeah,
it doesn't always work out.
And like we mentioned, I think for Dunlimited, defense and attack, same old as is what they usually do. Me and you aren't surprised by the way that Dunlimited are playing today. It's not as if they've changed anything up. It's not as if they're doing things differently that we say, oh wow, they've actually changed their playstyle. Just, yeah.
Dunlimited are going through the motions. And I think that's the thing that I like about this team. I don't know why I've fallen for them so hard. They could be my new favourite team.
Oh God.
I know.
Oh dear, oh dear.
It's like Furia all over again.
Don't mention that team.
Why not?
You'll never see that team again.
Yeah, they'll be
You'll
back.
never see that team again.
They'll be back.
Team's dead, mate. Pack up. Pack up your troubles.
Well, listen, if they are, then I got some good years out of
You got a free
supporting them.
jersey out of it, I guess, so you'll take it.
It's not just about the jersey, it's about the friends you make along the way, Demo.
It's only about the... Why do you think I say, oh, I love this team? I want the merch. I have no allegiance. I have no alliances here.
I'll tell you what I've got at home. A Wild jersey.
Wild jersey, as do I.
Yeah.
As do I.
Hopefully we get back into the game quite quickly.
I have a Wild jersey, but it ain't Maurice's jersey, so I'm not complete.
There's not got aces on the back.
I need Maurice's jersey.
Maybe give him a ring.
Give him a buzz.
Give him a buzz. See if we can get a
Give him a
giveaway
buzz.
going.
Well,
I think that if this game continues and There's got to be a point where we see Makers make fewer mistakes, right? They've got to warm into this fixture a little bit because it does feel like they've seen success when things have been going well. But when things haven't been going well for them, I really dislike that. Let's just go for it. Let's just push. Shift W straight into sight. We've seen that a couple of times now, and it's a dangerous habit to get into because the game is more than winnable. And Dunlimited, I don't know how many times we can say this, but their patience is fantastic. Yeah. You cannot just shift W into this team because they will just sit and wait for you.
The thing for Dunlimited is I do feel against a team like Makers, you need to have almost like a perfect game. Because I think Makers, you give them an inch only. You have one slip up. You think about that defense from Makers in the basement.
Yeah.
One player caught lacking above, and look what happened. Look what unfolded because of that.
Attackers need to locate and defuse.
I think we've just had word that we're going to have to rehost. We have one of the Makers players that can't rejoin the lobby. So a wonderful observer, Schreikel, is going to get on with remaking the lobby and getting everybody invited back in. And fingers crossed, when they rejoin, everything will be just dandy. But I agree, Demo. There has to become a point where Makers recognise, look, we can't just try and cheese it against Dunlimited. There's a reason that they're here, and that's because they have been successful in every single game so far in this lower bracket.
Yeah, they've made the run. They've really made the run. And also, not only is this a game where we have, I guess, a lot on the line in terms of who's getting eliminated. Who wants to play 10-star again? Who wants to actually have a go? Who wants to have a revenge?
I'd give it a go against 10-star.
Would you?
Yeah.
How do you play against 10-star?
Do you reckon we get a pickup team?
What if you were against 10-star, what would you do?
If I was against 10-star, what would I do? I'd probably message Kenny and ask him if there's any tips.
How to beat your own team?
Yeah. Maybe he doesn't know.
Just get JEGS head loss. Get JEGS head loss. As soon as his head dips, he's 0 kills.
Would you get in the all chat?
Yeah.
What would be some of the go-tos?
Kanto's clear. I don't know. Just
like you're lost.
You'll never be spotted.
Oh. Deary me. You'd call him out like that?
Bring back Rolo. Rolo was better.
Bring back Rolo? Where's Savage?
Where's Savage?
Yeah.
Savage was the glue.
Leader was the glue.
That's one thing about 10-star. They've obviously the roster changes and stuff. They've done well just to stay consistent. Do you know what I still feel awful about? And I bring it up to him a lot of the times. Somehow, me and Jack Allen. You know Jack Allen?
Fresh.
Man, he shaves his head the old time.
Blue, pink.
I don't know why we done it. We put Tim into a warm-up scrim against 10-star.
Oh, goodness. How bad?
We played Clubhouse. We stuck one change repel. He just got dinged every time by JEGS. Every time, and Tim's just like... The thing is, Tim knew he was so out of his depth because Tim didn't speak. Yeah. Tim just accepted it. He was getting 0 kill. He knew it. He accepted it. We stuck him on firm. He opened dirt the odd time. We stuck one chains and he just died.
What were you warming him up for?
You can.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow.
But yeah, just I feel terrible. Stuck Tim into that.
I wonder who these two teams warmed up for the major. Because it'll have been somebody, won't it?
Don't know the ins and outs too well of Makers.
We're back. Good luck, have some fun, version 2.
Version 2.
Fortunately, we don't start from 0-0 in version 2. We start from 5-4.
Oh, where's the up bands?
Schreikel!
Deary me. You've left Nook open.
Nook's available.
There has to be, there's always an idiot in the lobby. There's always one idiot.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
There you go. Ackley's last known.
Well, we know what the bans were.
Yeah, the players know what the bans were.
The players know what the bans were. Any funny business, and
you'll be straight off.
I reckon it'll be insta DQ if there's any funny business.
Red card.
Red card.
That's it.
Play 4 versus 5. Downstairs we go. Now, for anyone that has forgotten what happened before the break or has only just joined us, Dunlimited. They've been successful in 3 rounds in a row, Demo. They exited their attacking phase at 2-4 down. And now they're at 5-4, looking to make it 6 downstairs in the basement. And I honestly don't see any reason why that can't happen here and now. Mkers on the attack have not looked great so far.
Yeah, Mkers' lineup is very interesting. We're having no smoke grenades, which is already a one for me that I think you need to have smokes. I think there's too many strong angles that you need to try and cover off. And 2, sledge EMP grenades. Even though you already have a set of EMP grenades. And also you could have brought EMP grenades on the Lion.
Instead, you've got more burn.
Yeah.
It does seem like a bit of a mistake or a bit of something you may have overlooked.
I think the nades and sledges...
It's crucial. We've already seen Mkers lose around because they didn't have nades.
Keep in mind, you have to burn through 2 shields and Goyo canisters. Like, that's not going to be easy. However...
Rorik, see you later. Successful on the entry, no more. At least
helps.
not in round number 10.
That helps.
Nordwin going to get himself potentially back down. He is on the all-important Warden. However, he will only be defending his eyes against stuns this time.
So they've opened up Snowmobile Garage, jump out from Hypix, nobody home, and that means they know where he is. I like this from teams. I think that this is a good take. I'll be interested to see if they're actually going to swing around and maybe go for another push. Because one thing I do like to see is open up main breach and then go and hit trench. I think that's always a good idea. The swing comes in, but no, it's going to just be a blue-orientated push alongside Snowmobile. No interest in going towards Y. Army just swings the breach. Down goes the diffuser. IWI has the flank, but nope. It's going to be Lolo who waits inside a mud for him. Hypix goes down, and Dunlimited have been slaughtered, Ollie.
Unfortunate timing for a lot of the Dunlimited players there, just getting caught looking the wrong way, but the aggression, you can't fault it.
Quick one there.
This time it works out for Mkers. They just clicked the go button, they got the breach open, Lion Scan, Dokubi call, bang, they were in there. I'm very surprised that the player was allowed to make the way down blue. We still had a little bit of upstairs presence from a couple of the defenders from Dunlimited. That was a big point of vulnerability. It was obvious that Warden felt safe swinging the breach in the knowledge that somebody was still upstairs. He didn't even think to check blue because that should have been being covered.
Yeah, lack of anything to let them know if people are crouch walking down.
Yeah. Where's your barb? Where's your wub-wubs? Where's your banshees?
My what?
Wub-wubs? Proc sensors?
My only pet hate that you call prox alarms that. I hate it.
Do you?
I hate whenever you say
I don't like it.
No.
Well, I mean, the noise that it makes is like a wub-wub.
I'll accept beeper.
A beeper?
Yeah, I'll accept that.
No, but
you.
beepers is a call-out.
What's wrong with saying alarm? Just alarm.
Beepers is a call-out, though.
But wub wub, like, it doesn't make, no, beepers don't make wub wub. That's not the noise they make. They go beep beep. It's not a wub wub. It doesn't make that.
If I said beepers to you, I'd think about, like,
Are we on
border.
bank? Are we on bank or border?
Well,
we're on Chalet for good. Just say prox alarm. What's the issue?
maybe I call them the dubsteps, because it kind of sounds like whoop, 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 whoop.
What's wrong with you? Did you sleep well?
This looks alright. Got a few hours in.
You fooled me. As if you haven't slept in 72 hours. Delirious over here. What's next?
Maybe we start calling Dokubi calls phone viruses.
Yeah. So, anyone wanting to cast with me? I'm looking for applications. Please send through to me any show reels. If you don't even need a show reel. Anyone. I'll take anyone. Honestly. Except Shriekle. Shriekle's, no, not Shriekle.
C4 unsuccessful this time on Todora. Still, Nordwin has a little bit of utility there. It's going to need it. Swings out unnecessarily there, and Akwi is able to oblige. Gemini coming in as well as... Look at Mkers. They are storming through this. Rorik finds one before being shot in the back. Lolo, there is nothing slowing him down. Demo, we've blinked. We've been talking rubbish.
I know, but it was a minute of just nothingness and then 20 seconds of everything.
Deary me. Mkers back with a vengeance here, looking to secure round number 11 and to put themselves on to match point. Army. What can you do in a minute 25?
Here's the rappel. think it's Mkers just making sure that they can win the round. They know how crucial it is. This is the difference between match point or going up against the match point. There's the Lion scan. They know where he is, and yeah, Army, it's only going to be a matter of time. Walks into Lolo. As soon as I mentioned that Lolo was having a poor game, all of a sudden, he's really sprung into action.
Yeah, the break's done quite well for him. Quite well indeed. Match point, or map point, should we say, here for Mkers. Still, of course, 2 maps left should we require them. Tactical timeout for Dunlimited. Could be a little bit too late, Demo, but I feel like that last round has just whirlwinded them by. I don't think they were expecting it to be as catastrophic as that.
Yeah, well, they were 3 rounds up, and now they've just lost 2 in a row. When are you going to get a chance to use your timeout? That's the question. I mean, I think it's the only time you can really use it now, isn't it? It's all you've got.
Well, you may as well.
You're never going to call it in 5-4. You're never going to call it in 5-5.
No.
See what they can do, but they need something else.
Where's Rorik's jug? I'm concerned.
I don't know what it is about teams where it's just a little bit here or there sometimes in these rounds where they can't go very one-sided. And again, I think that's been the story really for Dunlimited, is they're at the races or they're just not.
I think it's difficult to judge as well because we often read into the player cam a little bit. There's only 2 player cams there for Dunlimited, so it's difficult to read into the vibe of the team. 2 players could be looking down, 1 player could be screaming down the microphone saying, "We've got this, we're not rolling over."
It's one more than 10 star.
Yeah. Another tricky team to read. Back up to the top floor, though. They were successful defending here previously. Are we going to see any significant changes here, Demo? Of course, last time we had this site, it was all about the C4 onto the sledge.
Where's the hard breach?
It was all about the book from below.
Where's the hard breach?
We haven't got the hard breach.
Solar take. Has to be then. No other push you can go for if you don't have the hard breach for the main wall.
Attackers are moving out
Well,
to
with the positioning of the
Solar
drones,
take,
it would
solar
lead
take.
us to believe that it is going to be a solar take. We've already seen how delicate this can be, though, and it only takes one piece of the puzzle to fall for it to become very difficult to then execute your attack.
One thing I want to highlight is how good, I think honestly both teams have utilized the Thatcher in this game. We haven't seen really Thatcher be utilized for the walls all too often. It's not as if it's needed for stop bandit tricking or stop Kaid claws being placed down. We have seen the Thatcher be used to disable ADSs and be able to disable WAMI discs. I think it's been a great highlight of how important that operator is, not only in regards of helping, Thermite, Thatcher, that's the combo that everyone holds hand in hands with, but Thatcher is just good against everything. It's good against any kind of gadget. He is there to do so. There goes the EMP. It catches the first one. Does it catch the second one? Yes, it will. It just rolls onto the stairs. Nordman knows he has to leave and moves over towards carpet. That's a bad spot to be in. He can get bucked from below from the trophy window and then does scurry back. Still survives. Oh, he's one lucky boy.
Norden managed to slip away out of that one. He's avoided not only main stairs, but trophy window, solar windows, just about everything that could have gone wrong did. It has wasted the utility. And still, Mkers haven't got the position. If he's able to get himself back onto the spot, he's going to be difficult to root out because guess what? There's no nades left now.
I still think Mkers are happy enough with that because the whole purpose is just to get somebody out of that staircase. That's the whole purpose. Sure, if he survives, it's no big deal. We got what we needed.
Rorik from below, though, could be a little bit of a spoiler here now. He does have the C4 as well, and he knows that Solar, there's a chance he could make his way back up there at a later portion in the round. He can at least wait for the cue to call.
They have kitchen now. I think Buck could maybe look to rip open some of the flooring. But he himself, maybe, I think if you're Mkers, I think you are starting to worry about what happens if they come from below. What happens if they try and challenge us now?
What happens if there is a flank, and where is the flank being watched from? Sorry. Going to hop himself in the drone for now. He's got a drone at the bottom of West Main. Rest of Mkers just flicking into those drones for the time being. Time is going to be an issue here. Their strongest position right now, Demo, is going to be Gemini on that big window. He's cutting through the site directly, and if coordinated properly, the book from below could do a little bit of damage. However, we are going to see that book challenged onto and taken out there as the kills start to come in. Gemini still on this rappel as Hypex starts to do damage here. We see a hop in there from Lolo as well. He's announced himself inside a bathroom, and now Dunlimited know exactly where they don't need to be. They know that they're getting cut off from this big window. Gemini has to hop in now with only 18 seconds left, but he will meet his demise as IWI is holding on to the angle. Lolo, not a lot of options here, I'm afraid. Stuck inside a solar, being peeked from pillar and post. Hypex shuts him down. Dunlimited, what have we said before, Demo?
Yeah.
Patience, patience, patience.
It's the patience game. Really, Dunlimited didn't move. All of the positions were static.
They didn't need to.
They didn't need to go for it. Mkers, that's a few times I've picked up that they struggle with the shield inside of cupboard. Big time.
Oh dear. Not the cupboard shield. Is it a particularly potent shield?
Well, the thing is, the shield, it allows the defenders to still deny. It's almost like the second layer. So you have the main wall, you know, that single solar wall that's reinforced. If that goes, then you still have the shield to fall back onto. There's two ways to get rid of it. It's very, very easy, right? One of which is to simply nade it. Didn't have any nades, which you did pick up on, but still shouldn't be an issue. Other one is, what operator have they been bringing a lot of? Someone with a skeleton key?
Ooh, a little bit of a book.
You know?
Book from below. Remove the ability to stand behind the shield. How important do you think it is here that Mkers have fallen on the attack in the overtime? Could be quite significant. Mkers didn't do terribly on their attack, but the game as a whole has been 4-2 splits for the defenders. So that would lead you to believe that if that trend continues, Dunlimited should have this game in the bag, given that they are only going to have to attack once inside of this overtime. Puts even more pressure here onto the round that Mkers are about to play.
Yeah, Mkers once more not having hard breach. Went for the burns. 9 flashbangs alongside 2 sets of nades. But look at all of the denial from Dunlimited. Jaeger, Aruni, and the Wamai, the triple triad that we see of denial.
Dora going to have to charge his way through the old laser gate there. Army hasn't been too successful on the C4. He's picked it up once, but there's a great opening kill. Hypex going to take Gemini out. Is receiving a ton of damage here as Akwi's just stormed his way in. Already into Piano. Sorry, joining him as well. Sweeping through this top floor. Army, you got to get yourself out of there, my friend. That would have been a better C4 played from below. You might not even get off the stairs. No, shuts Akwi down and can look to maybe challenge onto another. IWI feeling the heat from above. What a shotgun through the hatch! 3 versus 2 now. IWI might be low, but he is not out. Lolo has control of the hatch above and has the diffuser in hand. Only now is the default camera getting shot. This rush play from Mkers is causing a few mistakes here, reactivating the Suri gate. Army feeling very safe here now. There is still 1 nade left on Lolo. Rorik going to be playing down below him as well. Dunlimited doing a good job to stabilize there. Just under half the round remaining, and still Demo. 3 Toxic Babe canisters in hand. Unlimited are prepped and ready for this final stage.
They've hacked the cameras. Not going to be a lot of value, really, apart from a bulletproof camera inside of sight. As if any of the default cams are going to be of good value for this particular bomb site, as there is none inside of it. Look at Dunlimited again. Just position so safely, not giving away anything, not panicking, not freaking out thinking, oh, I could get picked here. Just fronting up the challenge. Here comes the swing, and oh, look at that. As soon as Lolo makes any kind of movement, they're straight out of there, down in towards Trophy. Dunlimited running rings around them.
This is where Dunlimited have been at their best. Man count advantage, loads of time, and guess what? They don't move a muscle. They just reposition themselves slowly but surely. They're not looking to challenge onto anything. Now we can see the Toxic Babe canisters come out. We've already seen IWI reposition himself to the lower part of West Main. Rorik going to take down Dora, and now Lolo has to push down Trophy stairs as well. I don't think he even knows that someone's directly to his left. He may have just seen the pre-fire shots. There's actually 2 players out there. 10 seconds left to go. Lolo picks 1. You can't afford to give him any more here. The swing from Rorik will be enough. Dunlimited put themselves onto a map point here.
So patient.
It is honestly, they are at their best when they have all of the advantages stacked in their favor, and so many times we sit here and talk about teams that just slowly throw it away. Give a 1 versus 1 versus 1. It just doesn't happen.
They must love watching paint dry. That's must be how they practice.
It's so boring as well, isn't it? It's so hard to do. I can't do it.
What,
I think that's why. I think that's why I find it so impressive. Is because I am the least patient player you will ever see touch a video game. I need instant gratification, instant dopamine hit.
What you hear? Oh, there's one outside main breach. I'll take a swing.
Yeah. And that's why I'm rubbish.
You're a blatant troller.
That's why I'm rubbish.
Attack timeout for Mkers. And they need to dig deep. Thankfully, I'm sure they'll be happy to know that they will be back on the defense, which is where they had more success from. But even if they win that, Ollie, I mean,
Back onto the attack.
with the attack, that's where we're at. Oh, this is a big change-up of a lineup for Mkers. Mira comes in for a kitchen site.
Locate and defuse bombs.
What do we have in store? Mira on Chalet is not really the greatest. A lot of the Mira positions that you can deploy are very easily dealt with, either from below or just from like a window. There's not that many good ones that you can really set up. Especially for Kitchen. Kitchen is yeah, I'm really intrigued to see how Kitchen's gonna go. What's he up to? I'm just gonna wait. I need to see what's happening. Nice little replay there. This shotgun Ollie from IWI.
There were two incredible kills.
You think it was a slug round in that, wouldn't you?
They were two incredible, both from the lower ground as well. Not even on the high ground. We all know the high ground is important, Demo.
All right, where's he putting them?
The thing that might work for these mirrors is that we have seen Dunlimited struggle to take above effectively.
So that mirror window.
That's a free mirror.
That's a good one. It helps you. What do you mean free? As in easy to get? Or
yeah, easy to get rid of.
How so?
Downstairs.
Correct. Yeah, it's easy to get at. I mean, it is a good mirror window. It stops any form of West main attack, which is obviously quite good. We know that teams will like to just get in there.
Oh,
There's always
Rorik.
one. There's always
Rorik.
one. There's always one. Did I not say this?
How has he done that?
I said this.
How has he done it? He's picked Nook. Shrackle, it's your fault.
It is like, let's be honest. It is. It's his. It's. You know, it's whoever made the lobby. It's their fault. You know.
Deary me. There's always one, isn't there?
Would Medics and Easy ever?
Oh,
Would
you can't say that.
Ever? Would they ever? Shrinkle goes, yes, they have. He's very quick to throw the bus and throw the blame around everyone.
Honestly, they could have got away with that. It was Dunlimited that called for it.
Don't think anyone would have clocked on. I'll be honest.
I think, to be fair, I think if Mkers had lost, I think they'd have clocked on.
Yeah.
Well, actually, the Nook was banned, and Rorik got a 4K.
Yeah. My goodness. Apologies, everyone. Apologies.
We'll get there in the end, I promise.
We will. It's a game that never ends.
Something might won as well.
It is.
Potential for Max OT.
Yeah. I still think that Dunlimited, they need this win on this map.
Are we
I don't think Bank's going to go favourable for them.
Are we going to see the mirror again? It's got to be a carbon copy, hasn't it?
I'm not an admin.
But it should be the same.
Do I look as if I'm wearing a black and white shirt? Do I look like the referee?
Is that what they wear?
And wrestling do.
Not in wrestling.
That's what you. Well, there's two ways to look at a referee. Obviously, you can just like football, but then they were all kind of different ones. Whereas the
They all wear
referees in
shorts
wrestling,
as well.
No, but I always think a referee's always known for black and white shirt.
Yeah.
Always. You think about a referee, that's what they're wearing. That's it.
I suppose.
Yeah.
I suppose. No whistle.
Not in wrestling.
No.
They have a bell. So they have. Ring the bell.
Ding ding ding.
That's it. 3 dings.
I was going to start tonight with like a bit of like a let's get ready to rumble sort of thing. I was really in the mood for it earlier, and I was like hyping myself up for the show. I kind of just forgot. I'm a bit gutted, really. Might do it for the second map.
No.
Yeah, we get you involved.
Weighing in at combined weight. Feels
In the blue corner,
just feels like Chambers' move, doesn't it?
we have Mkers.
It's Chambers' move. So how's everyone's Sunday been?
I couldn't believe it was Sunday today. I had a big shock. Walked downstairs, walked to the shop, and it was closed. And I was like, "Oh yeah,
Oh my goodness.
it's Sunday. We never work on a Sunday, but it's Sunday. Dear oh dear. Not a bad way to spend the Sunday, though. Watching a little bit of CL.
It's our last day
It is.
as well. It's certainly been quicker this weekend than compared to whenever we started. And then obviously with the gap for the major, we had to deal with that. But we always get there in the end, don't we?
We do. We do. Hey! We got the bands.
Let's go. Well done. He's done his job. That's it. Give him money. He's done the job that he's paid for.
I hate to break it to him, but the bands are in the wrong order. It doesn't matter, but they are in the wrong order.
Yeah, that's true. Once someone tunes in and thinks, Dunlimited,
It's
Dave.
Dunlimited?
Oh
They banned the Azami and they started on defense? Hang on. Makers, why have they banned the castle? Dunlimited never play castle.
You make our job difficult, Striggles. What you have to remember. Honestly, he's not happy with us today.
Well, we are going to see the same setup here. I believe it is in the rules that if the round starts and you have to have a Rios for whatever reason, you've got to run the same setup.
Yeah.
So we have got the mirror that we were...
Well, we've seen both mirror windows. It was the one that looks in towards West Main. The other one on that single reinforced wall is being shown right now. And that obviously that opens up and you can challenge off the breach.
5 seconds left.
That, of course, can be opened up from above, that we know of. So that's the thing about mirror windows. Yes, they look good, but easily dealt with.
We'll see if Dunlimited have a plan and a strategy for dealing with them. This time Army's going to be rocking the Ace. Now,
First time I think we've seen Ace today.
Play a lot of Thermite, but we haven't seen him play a lot of Ace here this evening. So
It's been a very unorthodox Chalet in terms of a severe lack of hard breach action all over the show. There's been very little.
Well, Dunlimited showed us a bit, but I guess it was a while ago now. It's faded from memory. It's going to be Gemini's turn on the alibi. We have seen Dunlimited struggle to take this top floor, especially when Makers play it in this loose fashion.
There's only 2 above for Makers, which I think makes it easier for Dunlimited to really close them in. 1 less position check, I guess, if you know there's only just the 2. So it does leave them a little bit thin up top. And it's always difficult, because, again, it's up to the team. It's up to how the team plays. You know, whatever the teams do, it's their choice. It's their decision. Both teams have really suffered from not falling back whenever they should be at a good moment. I think they've both kind of just played for their lives, and that's the game plan. We are staying here. If we die, we die. That's it. That's been their motto.
It is a very sort of Hail Mary approach to things of we're going to hold this for as long as possible. If that's 10 seconds, so be it. If it's, 2 minutes 30, then great.
Ooh, that's going to hurt them. They have used all Selma charges and a very simple trick.
Bomb located by attackers.
Oh, that pains me, Ollie.
That's one of the reasons why double hard breach is important. Bringing the Thermite is important.
You don't put both on. You don't put both on. You do it one at a time.
Because we've seen Makers go for tricks before.
That is... Oh. I mean, obviously, electrifying, it happens, but even, you're going to be subject to impact tricking as well.
It really comes down to
You don't put both on.
Now what?
You don't put both on. And, yeah, I think Dunlimited's... it's going to have to be a snatch and grab.
Going to have to start to open something up here. We're going to see a hop in, and immediately Rorik is dealt with. IWI the only one to find any sort of solace here. You've got to try and push, and you've got to try and push now. Army down, Nordwin, last sole survivor. 3 players left to find. He can try and use the mirror window, but for what good is it going to do when he's getting mirrored from the hatch? No! Takes Gemini out. 26 seconds left. Sorry, he is going to make a rotation, leaving Lolo in a clean 1 versus 1, but you got to back Lolo in that situation. He's there with the swing, he's there with the shot. Maximum overtime, here we come.
Yeah, 1 mistake and you're done. That's what I'm talking about with Makers. You have to play perfect. You cannot make mistakes against this team because they are so punishing. If they know they have you, they're not letting go. 1 fatal mistake. That's it. 7-7, Ollie. 45 rounds today? What do we think?
Oh, it could be.
You'd enjoy that.
Why not?
Attackers need to locate and defuse
Give it to me.
When was the last time we had a 45er?
We've not had very long games this CL, have we?
I mean, I'm just talking about just in general in the past year.
Probably Ace and Des won it at Berlin. They don't have quite a long finals.
Wait there. Oh, well, I'm not talking about best of 5. I'm talking about like a best of 3. Like, I can't remember last time there was 45 rounds. I think, was there not one somewhat during SI 21 maybe?
Probably.
It was a lot of long games at SI 21.
Was that one this year at SI?
Beautiful thing about how technology is, we can actually go and look at all this. It's great. We can go back in time.
5 seconds left. Attackers are moving to defuse a bomb.
Dunlimited, back on the comfortable side, back on that defense. IWI getting dangerously close there to that fireplace double window. They've chosen Bar to defend for their final stand demo. This is going to be the last round here of Chalet. Now, it hasn't been a bad sight for them thus far. But you do have to wonder and worry. Mkers have started to look pretty good over the last couple of rounds. Nordwin getting himself into a bit of bother there in Mudroom. Sorry, going to be the first player to fall. How has he got so deep so quickly? And the biggest question, why? He's just been taken out there on Ivy. Even Hypex a little bit surprised at that one.
Important pick, though. Very important. That's the Twitch. Twitch drones are great for attacking this bomb site. Because think about all of the utility that gets placed in towards blue, the ADSs, the WAMI discs, all of which can just be picked off using the Twitch drone. Even the 2 bulletproofs are subject to being eliminated without really any difficulty. Important pick in the long scheme of things.
Lolo's going to try and pinch Hypex here. He's got an inkling that he's going to be still on these library stairs. There is a little bit of drone work happening here as well, but...
Don't like this, Ollie, because it just feels that Mkers, it hasn't, you know, something went wrong, and now they're just going to do something that I think is a little bit stupid.
Well, they are clutching at straws. They've not really got a concise push going at the moment. They are all very split up. Hypex will be taken out below. Lolo's inkling was correct.
Oh,
goes
dear.
out. Pretty ropey nade, and then another one to back it up. We know that there's nothing there that he's going to catch. Still going to be operating on this basement level, but for the time being, no one else there. The Banshee is still alive.
You kidding me?
How did he miss that with the second? I mean, how did he miss it with the first? But still.
Yeah.
That could turn out to be crucial come later on. Still, 4 versus 4, 45 seconds left to go. No attention was paid upstairs.
Look how separated Mkers are right now. There's nobody doubling up. There's severe lack of refrags. I really do worry about it, Ollie. Mkers are just going to have to try and win their ones, and well, they've got their first onto Rorik, but still so many more to find. I say that though, Gemini wins his against IWI. Nordwind in the site, picks up his first. A good swing from Army, eliminates Dora. Diffuser called on the hatch. 15 seconds left. They have to make the push.
Look at Army go, picking up kills for fun there inside of small deals with the Frostmat. Gemini hops himself over, does have the kit, but has he got a chance? Finds one, can't get the second. Look at Army go, look at what this means for Rorik and Army, the 2 POVs that we can see. They take Chalet in what was a long, drawn-out affair, 8-7 to Dunlimited. At what point do you start to believe? Pushed all the way here on the first map in what was a long series.
Yeah, Mkers, the attacks on Chalet, where do you begin? I mean, both teams were not exceptional in the attacks in Chalet, which is a surprise for that map.
Yeah,
Defense.
very poor.
Defense, that's what it's all been about.
Very poor and very surprising. We were expecting more from Mkers. We were expecting a bit more from Dunlimited. We've seen them to be a good attacking side, but ultimately one of the best characteristics that we can give them at the moment is their patience and their ability to not let the pressure get to them, even in what was quite a long, drawn-out game. We're going to send this one back to the desk. They're going to break it down and set us up for our next map of Bank. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back in just a few.
Today is my 4th time starting the desk with the sentence, and that's going to be Dunlimited have once again taken the lead. They win the first map, which this time around was their own pick, but in true Dunlimited fashion, it wasn't just the lead in terms of the fact that they secured this first map, it's also the first few rounds that we've seen from them.
Yeah, the first few rounds were an interesting one. They could have probably won that map a little bit earlier if there wasn't some questionable flank watch showing its head once again.
8-7.
8-7 though. They got the one. I suppose that's all that matters. You've got the lead in the series. But once again, it's a different person on top of the kill charts for Dunlimited. It's Army this time around. Anyway, the guy that we highlighted at the start, the two guys who were the best players yesterday are down at the bottom of the scoreboard this time for Dunlimited. It's just how they play.
It's someone new every time. They cannot decide who they want to be the best player every single day. An Army, what an absolute effort was put in there. I mean, holding down that shotgun shot through the hatch, even though he didn't have the high ground, managed to make it work in a pretty pivotal round as well. But all 15 rounds needed to get a win out of this one. All 15. What a marathon that was.
Marathon indeed, and Dunlimited coming out on top, and we've seen their resilience, we've seen their cool, calm, collected approach to these games, and this time around the MVP Army, it feels like every single game we have from Dunlimited, it's another person that's like, guys, by the way, I'm also part of the team. So EPS 121, 73% cost, this is looking pretty good.
On more of a support role as well, on that ace. Not going to be the person you expect going in and having that, that flashy impact, but managed to always find a way to do so. And the fact is that you've got someone on that more support-based role, on the ace, on that Frost, who's able to go and get picks and frags. Got to ask questions. Where are your gunners? Have they gone a little bit quiet? Well done, of course, from him, but, your ace shouldn't be the one finding all that impact.
Yeah, also one thing that we highlighted earlier was the fact that when it comes to Dunlimited, their flank watch was something that was easily exploited. It felt like that was something that they have figured out, however, over the last couple of playdays, but it feels like today that is something that once again reared its ugly head and Makers are able to take advantage of it.
I think in the early rounds, Makers are very guilty of maybe falling asleep, and Dunlimited have been able to take advantage of it. But then, as soon as we get halfway through the round, Dunlimited start to fall asleep, and really both these sides should wake up and maybe have a better impact and, get the flank watch a little bit better, get on the drones, because both these sides have done some criminal things that have gone unpunished at times in this match.
Yeah, absolutely. It feels like, however, Makers so far are the closest team to get to push Dunlimited. They have really tried to take this map away from Dunlimited, which is their map pick. But now as we're going to be heading into Bank, that is Makers' pick. And if they could do this to them on Chalet, Bank could potentially be a different outcome.
So Chalet should have been the best chance for Makers to get a map opening off. They're a team that likes to have a lot of prep and know what they're facing coming into a matchup. Guess what? Dunlimited have shown a lot of Chalet all through this bracket, and they couldn't get the job done. Dunlimited, they already know what the style of play on Bank is going to be, and Tensor have wrote the script on how to beat them. Yes, there was a lot of mistakes from Makers on that Bank game. I mean, the amount of times Tensor got plants that they should never have got down happened, but they showed a lot of hands, they showed a lot of what they like to do, a lot of that strat book went out. Dunlimited know what they're expecting and know what to expect on Bank. So while, yes, it's been a fortress of Makers in the past, I think it's going to be another very close matchup.
Couldn't agree with you more. One of the things that you pointed out in the first few rounds of the last game was how good Dunlimited's roam clear was in the early stages. Bank is a map where we know for a fact that Makers like to have a very heavy roaming presence, and that could play into the hands of Dunlimited. So for Makers, how do you counter it? How do you stop these things from happening? Well, for one, a little bit better communication in that early round, and you got to say as well, in the late round, whenever you're throwing your smoke canisters and those toxic babes, Try to get them a little bit more accurate whenever a plant could be going off.
Yeah, maybe accuracy could help a little, but maybe Makers are going to be able to get some of that accuracy under lock and key this time around as we're going to be heading into their favorite map, which is going to be Bank. And once again, Ollie and Demo are going to be the ones covering it. So guys, take it away.
Hello everybody, welcome back. Thanks for bearing with us during the short break. Thank you to the desk for informing us of what we are about to see here, Demo. We have got a little bit of Bank action, Dunlimited versus Makers. Bank is a map that Makers are known to be good at. However, yesterday 10-star were a little bit better, but it is their map choice in this best of 3 series to decide who goes forward to play 10-star in our grand finals.
Yep. That's where we're at. Bank, Dunlimited, shifting the social vote in their favor.
The social vote is so fickle.
To be fair, we seen a 90% to 10% yesterday.
We did.
Which I thought was just moment of
Criminal.
madness.
Now, operator bans, they're important, aren't they, Demo?
You have to make sure that whenever you do the bans, you remember what they are.
At the start of the game, 4 operators get banned.
Yeah.
2 from the defense, 2 from the attack.
Yeah. I think it's a good idea for people to write them down, so then if anything does happen, you know what they are. No matter what, you always know what they are.
And it sticks
Yeah.
throughout the entirety of the game, regardless of what else happens. The only
Exactly.
constant in a map is the operator ban. Amaru coming through as the first, Nook the second. It's fairly easy to remember so far. We see a lot of Nook bans. Nook on bank, a thing of beauty, a thing that should never be allowed to exist. It's almost too good to be allowed. Amaru, scary. Allows for quick plays, aggression. If I think of bank and I think of defenders, I think of Valkyrie.
Why does it sound as if you're like doing a speech, but somebody's like giving you what to say next constantly?
Have you not got that?
No.
I have it in my ear. I'm just a mouthpiece.
Oh.
What else do you think of when you think of bank?
What's going on? What is this?
Mirror!
The Nature Channel.
Of course, we think of Mirror. Leaves a couple of good uns open.
Azami?
Azami. Echo.
Sometimes.
Occasionally. It'll be Maestro this time for a staff room and open area defense. Kicking things off in this mid-floor. Look at that ace picture. Just
Attackers
looks
need
happy
to
to be here,
locate
doesn't he?
and defuse as many bombs
Happy to
as
be
they
here.
can.
Yeah, Bank, here we go. Bank, very flexible map. A lot of different opportunities I think teams can have, both in defense and both in attack. I don't think there's any one set way that you have to play Bank, which is good. I think it makes for a more enjoyable experience, I think, for sides to really show how creative they can be. However, they probably went to the site that doesn't have too much creativity. I think you do have to play a certain way to defend this. And generically, what we look at whenever we think about open area is having, a good amount of utility inside of the site, strong anchor positions that you can fall back into, and some really good safe positions. But equally, we generally see a good top floor presence, a good roam game that does happen, because it's all about wasting time, wasting utility, and making sure that the attack don't have a lot to work with in the final minute or so of the round.
Bank can often just be a war of attrition, and that is often how you'll find most sites play here. It is an intricate and intense exchange.
I mean, this is a heavy, heavy hold if
Well,
we're looking at Dunlimited right now, Ollie. That's at least 60% of the map.
I was going to say, it looks like they're trying to hold every inch right now.
Everything but the bottom floor, pretty much. They've even castled off the 2 doorways in lobby. That just stops anyone just crypt walking in, which does happen a lot in Bank.
Yes.
You will find the odd player who just goes off by themselves, a wanderer, and they'll do some real damage.
Akwi finds his first victim there, takes IWI out of action. That might have been quite a long-range engagement. Gemini sees some success as well. Way off on Repel. Hello, Hypex! If ever there was a Wanderer, that was it.
Can't the walls open and you've walked into it? Oh, that is an issue. And probably an operator that I think Dunlimited are missing is probably the Mute, you'd have to say. I think Mute on Bank is probably one of his best maps. It's massive. We talk about how drone work is so important. Mute's your perfect friend for that. And it's good as well whenever teams like to do these extended setups. He's good to help with the shotgun. C4 is always going to come in handy. And just that little extra bit of denial. Dealing with a Mute jammer on camp to wall can sometimes, stumble a team. And it means you have to then rotate a player into lobby. And then you have to take lobby from... it adds on to everything. And yeah, Gemini keeps on pushing with the kills. So yeah, that'd probably be the only thing. I think missing the Mute has really let Dunlimited down for an extended hold like this.
Yeah, I think missing the Mute and the ambitious nature of the hold that they were attempting, right? They tried to hold absolutely everything here. It still isn't over. There's still a minute, and there's still 2 players that are very low. Army, highest performer on the side of Dunlimited last map, has a chance at getting this locked off, especially with Mkers and the way that they do tend to rush things toward the later stage of the round. But the net is tightening. The circle is getting even smaller. Gemini from above saw a lot of action that round, Demo.
Quad kill.
4 kills on the round, the diffuser going down as well. Mkers not leaving anything to chance here, kicking things off on Bank, which, in contrast to Chalet, is probably going to be a little bit attacker favoured.
Yes, good start for Mkers. Straight on the money. I think just the overextension of Dunlimited in this. That's the issue with I think the 60%, 65% holds off maps is you spread yourself too thin, and then you start to get hindered by lack of refrags. We've always said that Dunlimited are a team that are very good at basics, very good at minimalistic pushes, defenses. That's what they are, and they're very good in that department. I think that push, it wasn't them. Does that make it didn't feel like them.
It didn't feel like them.
You know, it feels
like them.
it feels as if they're trying to play like Hellraisers last year. Hellraisers were a very creative team who had a deadly roam game, who were straight on the money with these crossfires and being able just to always be a nuisance. Dunlimited aren't that kind of team for me, so I don't know why they're trying to play like that. This is where I say Bank doesn't favour them. I think Mkers, this is their map. You know, this is the map they're going to be very happy with. You know, I think Kangaroo Kenny, I think it showed us a lot about the thought process of Mkers, and I think even Kangaroo Kenny knew that there was a lot of issues with Mkers yesterday that, again, TenStar were able to play off, not because of it was anything that TenStar did miraculously, it was Mkers had a bad shift on Bank yesterday.
And it was still an overtime game, and that does just go to show how good they can be on this map. And when Dunlimited are falling for some fairly straightforward tricks, it doesn't bode too well. I mean, Kanto wall getting opened, that's a given on almost every single round here on Bank. It has been electrified this time. Half of the wall is still soft. We'll just have to see how this plays out. Already the castle barricade into staff room has been opened. Lolo, he's got a line of sight that he can start to work with as well inside a main lobby.
See, look at the positioning right now from Dunlimited. Nordwin's by himself. He is the only one in towards Tellers and Archives. What happens if we see Lolo just walk in and win as one? Nobody's going to be there to refrag. This is what I worry about.
Well, it looks as though Mkers are just going to try and walk in. Got Nordwind a little bit off-site there. Lolo threatening on that main door, but we do have players stacked up on copy window as well.
How good was that, though? Akwi being able to use a Dokkaebi call to just bypass the bulletproof camera, knowing that nobody can use that under the call. I don't think they have an idea that Akwi's here in this position, and this is scary because he's holding the connector between the tellers and also the staircase.
Rory's going to come to blows here with Sorry, the call giving it all away, and Akwi can now click the go button and make his way into sight. Army and Hypex, they are there to oblige though. Dora finds one, picks the second as well. He's got the kit, don't forget. IWI might be on the alibi, might be on the best operator in the world, but you've got a long old ways to go. Dora going to start to get that plant down. Is there going to be any information available here for IWI? Dora going to make sure that that sticks. IWI knows exactly where the plant's going down. The call's accurate, the shot true. Plenty of time to disable the diffuser.
He swung when he didn't need to swing.
Defenders have disabled
Yeah.
the diffuser. Defenders win.
I mean, IWI takes it as it comes. On the alibi.
Best operator in the world.
I don't know, I feel as though whenever players get clutches of alibi, it just loses any purpose.
It doesn't lose purpose at all.
Loses
Don't take
purpose.
that away from him.
You know,
That was a quality clutch.
do it on the Chanka.
You hate Tachanka.
Exactly, that's what would be impressive if you did on it.
You wouldn't be impressed. You'd
Nothing
still
impressive.
you'd still pick something wrong with it.
Nothing impressive with it.
You'd still pick a hole in it.
No.
Need to locate and defuse as many
1-1, Dunlimited. I tell you what, I'm really glad that they went back there for them, and I'm really glad that they won, because I did not think going back to that site was a good idea.
Yeah, it was...
I thought to myself, get yourself downstairs.
Mkers pulled the trigger.
Yes.
Massively. For no real reason. For no real reason they pulled the trigger.
Trigger happy.
I mean, it was tendencies that they went into in Chalet where they moved too quick for their own self.
Yeah.
And it cost them.
Well, they just didn't have the outside of the site was theirs. They had beepers, they had main stairs, they had all of this going for them. but they just didn't account for a couple of players knocking around the site.
They were surprised at the bomb site that defenders supposed to defend. There might be actually somebody in there.
It's weird, that, isn't it? It's weird how that happens. Someone on copy window would have done an absolute number.
I mean, they did have somebody in copy window. That's where the ace jumped in from. It was just the fact that the Wamai is hidden behind a bit of cover inside of open area. And also, the ace's main purpose is not to kill the Wamai. His purpose is to kill the Maestro on site.
The problem is it was the timing of it all.
Yeah, of course.
If Doro jumps in at the right time and people push double door at the right time together, then it's going to work a little bit better. Alas, there is a big extension here from Dunlimited. We often talk about going down to the basement and bunkering down. That's not going to happen here. They've got a big extension there into open area.
Now, remember we seen this last time where Mkers were very heavy in trying to gain control of Garage, and they didn't have the best of times with it, Ollie.
Well, the Yokai drone is easily spotted.
Bomb located by attackers.
However, Rorik, he's going to be there. He's going to throw the impact. Doesn't destroy the shield. The second one will, and it does a little bit of chip damage onto Sorry. There's another shield in his back pocket that he can try and use here, but he's in a 2 versus 1. Rorik and Hypex looking to try and challenge onto this. Rorik finds Sorry. Gemini, however, has pressed the button. He's pushed go, and he's inside a site. Eventually shut down by IWI. A lot going on elsewhere here. Lolo thinks that now is a good time to strike and push himself through the garage. It could be the last thing that Dunlimited expect. They've got no utility left here to give them any heads up that anyone could be pushing through. Nordwin, he's going to get himself taken out by Dora. Nobody there for the refrag as well. IWI, you don't know how lucky you are. That easily could have been a headshot. Goes for the swing. How lucky do you need to get? Look at the Vector tearing through Dora at close range and leaving the diffuser cold on the ground. Lolo, you can hack the cameras all you like. Finds one onto IWI. Excuse me? You've already got away with 1 murder this round. You can't get away with 2.
No one sits still anymore.
We've praised this team for their patience. We've praised them for their ability to stand still.
It's like watching 10 of you play.
It really is. Lolo, he's going to tank a load of smoke as he tries to charge through. The diffuser's cold on the ground. Surely Dunlimited know this.
Upstairs. He has to.
The attackers have become the defenders. His army's holding upstairs in open. Lolo, what's he going to go for? Army dips himself back down. 35 seconds. How much info is available here?
There's a yellow ping. I think that they're on the default camera inside of the elevator drop. So they do have info on them. Look, yellow pings are coming out for Mkers. This could be massive. The fact that he's hacked the cameras is so big. The shield, behind the pillar. The single pillar between the walls. Flashbang goes out. But Army secures the kill. There is info on him, Ollie, and he still loses it.
I think if Lolo... Well, Army played that perfectly because he managed to detonate the Vulcan canister. Had he not detonated the Vulcan canister and got a good Toxic Babe canister out there, he would have been in the bin because all he needed was 1 shot onto Lolo there to secure the round. Tense stuff. What a cluster of a round, Demo. What a mess.
We've had a few of them. It's been a messy game.
Whew. I don't know how much more of this I can take.
Attackers need to locate and defuse
You
as many bombs as they
You can take.
What do you mean? This is high octane stuff.
Yeah.
Upstairs we go. CEO.
Attackers have located a bomb.
IWI. Just chill out a little bit. Take a breath.
I'm taking a breath. Taking a breather.
I'd have loved to have seen someone go in with Sorry into garage there from Mkers as well, by the way. That was a weird
There
weird
was
play.
Dodokubi was trying to prone on the police car.
Yeah, but they were miles away.
Yeah, they were. But they were prone on the police. I mean, I'll be honest, that actual garage take again, very quickly done dealt with Dunlimited. I think it was genius.
They did a
Using
good job,
the Echo
yeah.
impact grenades,
Yeah.
which you generally don't see. It's usually Echo with a shield old garage.
Yeah.
Using the impact grenades and then having not only the Echo push, but also the other man in garage doubling up against that guy. It's always a smart move.
You've just got to deal with it as quick as possible. Because it just distracts from everything else, doesn't it? Let's see if Nordwin can get himself onto the board this time. Currently sat on 0 kills, the only person in the lobby to be so. someone who had a massive shout and massive game yesterday. Hypex, look at all those stun icons coming on in. Akwi, he's going to take full advantage of that, hops himself straight in. IWI takes a good chunk of damage. Army is in position, but he too will fall. This is where Mkers are dangerous. This is where Mkers are at their best, flooding themselves through stock, cleaning house, and leaving it all up to IWI to do. He can stim himself up. He's going up against 4. A low HP at Gemini, but that's about all that there is that's going for him. Gemini ends up finding him inside of the site. Not a great deal you can do about that. A concise push through stock from Mkers, showing that they have that terrifying aggression demo.
Just hit the nitro. Hit the nitro boost and they're straight in. And really weird game of bank. Really strange.
Why have you got your spooky face on?
Because I don't like it.
Why not?
This isn't how you're supposed to play bank.
Well, that's okay.
This isn't.
Players are allowed to try something different, demo. Just because you doesn't.
This is not how Penta played it in 2018. It's incorrect.
Just because you don't like it doesn't mean it's wrong.
Pengu would never. Yeah, it's a weird one.
What would you prefer? Blackbeard? Lion?
Yeah.
We get Lion still.
Yeah, get Lion back in.
Jackal?
Look, at the moment, right now for Mkers, this is supposed to be a map that I think is very favored for them. Very, very favored. If they play the same way they did against 10-Star, yes, I understand that they lost against 10-Star. I still think the way they played would be enough to beat Dunlimited. I really do believe that. But it just looks as if they're really rushing things. It just feels as though that they're relying a lot on winning ones. Which, sure, you're confident enough, you can go for it. But as we know, it's not consistent siege, and consistent siege is not going to win you every. Inconsistent siege is not going to win you every game. It's consistent siege is going to do that for you. Relying on ones, and we know how 1v1s can go. 50-50s, anything can happen. Yeah. You want to give your team the best possible outcome you can have. Would you rather swing a player inside of an elevator and maybe kill him? Or would you rather nade a player inside of elevator and 100% kill him? I know what I'm taking.
Yep.
Taking the swing
Go
because
for the swing.
I want the kill. I don't want my teammate getting a kill.
You'd go for the nade. Dunlimited have chosen to go back upstairs. They obviously feel like there's something they can do that's significant here. Namely, Hypex, he's going to be keeping himself alive a little bit longer. IWI, great adaptation there. Just peeks onto that double window, double door, sorry, takes out Gemini. Lolo from below will see some success, though. Eventually does deal with Hypex inside of stock.
Good pick as well. Wamai, no longer being able to deploy the discs. So the utility, the flashbangs and the smokes, nothing to worry about. Free real estate for that. Azami's being used almost as the sub for the deployable shields, being able to deploy them and block off these angles onto Kanto, as we know, is a very fickle position. It's surprising to see that Gemini is the one who was actually aggressing on the sock, whatever. He's Habana. He's generally out towards lobby trying to open up the counter wall, and we've mentioned before that Dunlimited, they not really bringing the lineup, I think, to appropriately hold in towards Kanto. Where's your mute? Where's your guide?
Well, they don't have to worry this time. No one going to be opening up Kanto wall. Dora has got 2 exothermic charges, but they will be destined for elsewhere. Lolo at the top of square, trying to make something happen as the wall will be open. Lolo finds himself one. Dora could look for a little bit of an opportunity outside there, and we'll find it. Rorik getting punished for a little bit of aggression. Now with the breach open, it comes down to Nordwin to turn his focus, along with Army, into that square stairs area. Got some red pings to be working with, but long-range engagement isn't going to be very kind to him at all. Army, first of all. Army, can you land your second? Lolo putting a huge amount of damage in onto Dora. Akwi, he's going to be challenging onto the janitor's door, almost, but it isn't close enough. Doubling up there on the push at the end was the only way that Mkers were going to make that happen.
I think that was great decision making from Fermite, especially. Obviously could have went for the plant. I would say that probably Flores would have said, I'm not in the best position to cover that. That's a risky one, pushing in for the kill like that, because we know anything can go wrong, but boy, they make it work. It's one of those, but yeah, all credit to them. They make the correct call and they execute that well. So yeah, good work from Mkers. 3-2.
Still a strange round, though.
Of course, it's been a strange... I told you, this is
Real
not...
strange round.
This isn't what you were used to seeing from Bank. It's supposed to be a lot more slow and methodical, not as high octane as what we're seeing now.
Yeah.
You think this is border the way it's being played out?
I've definitely noticed a bit of a change in Dunlimited's play style as well. Like, where's the confidence? There was a bit of confidence floating around on Chalet, and I just feel like a couple of players have gone really quiet here on Bank. Nordwind, huge game yesterday. 0-5. Hypex, 2-5. Not the sort of numbers that we're expecting these guys to be putting up.
They're the two statistically, you know, top killers for that side.
Yeah.
Is Nordwind and it's the Hypex, and if they're not showing up,
Still,
worry.
There is an opportunity for a 3-3 split here.
I mean, look at Mkers. It's the supports he's putting in the business.
It's the same over there, isn't it? You know, Dora 6-2, Gemini 9-3, triple positive. Very similar story.
A bomb has been located.
Right.
Now, this was another strange round last time, wasn't it, Demo?
This was a full garage push, but this time it looks like Mkers are going to go a bit more what I like to see, and that is a lot more default, trying to sweep the map, clearing top down, getting control of open area, pushing out these roamers, and eventually moving your way down and looking for that plant. There's a great deal of utility, of course, for Dunlimited. You have plenty of C4s, you have the Echo, smoke, and of course the Goyo canisters, so Mkers, they can't waste a whole lot of time above. They need to move pretty quick, Ollie, if they want to try and get an execute going before all of that utility comes in to bite them. Gemini just keeps going. Do you know how risky it is to see the Habana push in like that? That's your hard breach, and he's doing that. I mean, to be fair, if this is a life game for Gemini, let him go. Let him go.
So far, he's doing a fantastic job here. Rorik does manage to find one back onto Lolo, but damage has been done here. You have got your two last lines of defense, a smoke and an echo.
All those C4's gone, Ollie.
C4 that you brought has disappeared into thin air, and already the Toxic Babe canisters are going out at the halfway point in the round. Far too early.
If you're Mkers, you kill the game dead. You don't give them anything. You don't try and solo push. You don't try and rush. You play nice and simple. You have hatch. You have one guy hold main stairs, and you just wait until Dora eventually gets down the plant. There's not enough utility for Dunlimited because they lost so much there of those engagements. Yeah, Mkers are 100% going to get a plant down. 100%. There's no way they lose this. No way. I refuse to believe it.
Aqua just going to be gathering a bit of information there as to Army's whereabouts.
Yeah, there we go.
Great nade coming in there to neutralize him as he goes for the Toxic Babe canister. It is going to allow the plant to go down without a hitch. Second nade comes through, and, well, it's not going to be the nade, but it's going to be Sorry that dishes out the final blow, picking up both of those kills, one with the nade, one with the gun. Mkers advantage here at the halfway point.
Yeah, important round. Good, solid round. That's more like it from Mkers. Not much Dunlimited can do against that whenever a team attacks it as perfect as what they've done.
Well, was it a perfect stack, or did Gemini just get lucky inside of open? He just strolls in, picks up 2 kills.
Well, how would you know, the whole purpose is, okay, we have to kill these guys. Does it matter how you do it?
It doesn't matter how you do it, but I don't think you could do it consistently. Dunlimited dropped the ball there. If you're allowing someone to hop in copy window and pick up 2 kills, I mean, Demo, you know why I know it's a problem? Because when I play Bank, I play Habana, and that's the window I go through.
Okay.
So that's why I know it's a problem. Because I'm rubbish.
Hey, you said it, not me. I don't say it, I just think it.
Thing is, where have we been here before? Mkers 4-2 up after the half. Oh, Chalet.
10 seconds to search.
I know, but I think Dunlimited have looked particularly limp.
They've looked a bit lost on
in
Bank.
that half.
Yeah.
I think it hasn't been too strong for them. Nordwind, horrible half.
Yeah.
Horrible half, and he needs to try and pick it up. Zero makes an appearance. Always fun to see him. Really the only map that we ever see Zero is Bank. Not many other instances where you see him. The reason why you only really see him on Bank is, one, he has a gadget that gives you some good flank protection and also good information on such a big map where we talk about the roam game is so important, how you have to deal with that. Generally, Zero is very good in that regard. And also, whenever you're dealing with Bank, there is a few hatches, particularly 5 hatches, that you like to try and open up, and of course, our breach gadgets can make quick work of that.
Just alleviate some of the pressure onto Hibana. Of course, Hibana has more than enough Exocaris pellets to get the job done, but...
Carrot pellets.
Any rabbits?
Any rabbits?
But it does just make it a little bit easier so 2 people can get at that job. Of course, no thermite. Now you're tacking onto the basement. You would maybe like to bring a thermite to try and open up a couple of the walls down there as well. Rorik already got himself into desk. Has just called for that to be gone 6th open. He's got a red ping to work with, but we can see that the player has since dipped out of there. Mkers slowly but surely making their way back onto that basement level, as they have felt like they've wasted sufficient time here.
Right now for Mkers, try and play the long con of let's use the utility as best as we can. Not wanting to, of course, give away early picks. You know, we've mentioned before about how the utility, there's always a shed load for this basement. It's all about how the Mkers want to deal with it. Dunlimited equally. Good chunk of utility also, Ollie. You got some smokes there. You still got a nade that you can utilize. There's certainly opportunities for them.
Dunlimited is going through the motions here at the minute. They're getting the tasks done that they need to do. They're starting to open
got rid
up
of the fire, which
this
is a good
long
start.
angle. The Vulcan canisters have disappeared as well. Where's the backstab is what I would say at this point.
I do worry for one simple reason. They haven't opened up the blind spot plant, the other wall inside a server. Why? I don't know why. Where are they going to plant now? This is why I worry about it. Where's your safe plant position? You don't have one now because you don't have enough hard breach and you haven't opened up the actual wall you need to open up.
Army going to be playing the hatch from above as we still hear the utility starting to get exchanged. Actually going to go for a plant on the bomb chassis. Now, where's the cover and does anybody know? IWI going to drop in onto the hatch. The C4 comes through. The diffuser rendered cold on the ground. Nordwin cut out from the action while the rest of his team does damage on site. But Dora is there. 2 versus 2 now. Nordwin and IWI, you've got a lot of kills to find. You need to pick up 2 in a very short period of time. Lolo takes IWI out. Nordwin, you might have the kit, but you're not going to be able to get much done with it. Going to peek onto the player inside of gold, finds one, but all you got to do is keep yourself alive, and alive they will stay. Mkers hold on downstairs.
Yeah, not opening up that wall. No real safe plant position. That's what cost them.
It's a shame as well because the rest of the round looks okay.
You have all your Goyo canisters cleared by a minute. That's really good.
I think there was still one at the bottom of main stairs.
Yeah, but in terms of
it
where
doesn't
you're
matter.
planting, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Time out here for Dunlimited. They need to stop the bleeding and they need to stop it soon.
After one attack also, you're using the timeout?
I mean, they're obviously a little bit rattled, aren't they? We've already commented about how players aren't performing up to standard.
This is a mental check timeout.
It is, it is. It's not. It's less on the gameplay and it's more on like, come on guys, what's wrong? Like, what's the matter? Oh no, what could the matter be?
Right. Where do I begin with that?
You carry it on.
What have you just said?
Don't know. I think it's a nursery rhyme.
Nah. Again, applications, please send them through. Let me know.
You're going to get actual applications, you know.
Good.
I'm going to make an alt account and send you one.
Good.
And then you'll just be left with me again.
No.
Brilliant. It's genius.
Can't believe I've been shackled to you for 2 years now.
Your bombs from being defused by attackers.
And I say shackled, I use that lightly. The term shackled.
Bomb located by attackers.
What, do you not like it or?
It's up for you to decide, buddy.
I don't know. Oh, we get a pulse.
Look at the lineup from Mkers. Wow, wow, wow. Severe lack of any denial of utility, which is the first issue that I find with the setup of open area. This setup says to me, Ollie, kill, 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 kill.
Confidence. Confidence is key, and Mkers have it at the minute. They're going to favour a little bit of information,
5 seconds remaining.
a lot of information, given that they've brought 2 bullet proofs and a pulse.
I wonder if Mkers know something that we don't, because you're bringing in the Oryx, right? Oryx for Bank is good operator. You know, it's a big roaming map. Oryx is obviously good in that regard of getting around and can make these openings and jump up hatches, more importantly, and that's probably the point I'm going to get to, is do Makers know where Dunlimited like to push from? Are they a team that will sweep in through that mid floor? Are they a team that will try and take in towards Tellers and Archives and then try and attack the triple wall? Are they a team that actually likes to hit blue? If they're a team that like to go in through the mid floor and they like to attack, Oryx jumping up the gold vault could be a spicy play. If they try and go in towards blue, we know that Oryx, again, can then still rotate below very easily up the blue stairs. You know, there's potential now, I think, for the Oryx to hit them where it hurts.
Army going to open up that Kanto wall. It is mute jammered for the time being.
And wait, do you see how tricky it can be for the attackers to actually deal with that? Because the only way that you're getting rid of that mute jammer is you have to put somebody inside of lobby and then to use a nade. Which, as we know, is tricky. That lobby, there is, whenever we say there's 1,000,001 angles you can get shot from, I'm not joking. It is the biggest, is it the biggest room in Siege? It is. It has to be. It's the biggest room in Siege. That says it all.
You heard it here first. It's the biggest room in Siege.
It is.
Hypex has got himself in. The bulletproof camera might actually have a line on him at the minute as well. Lolo is going to be just the other side in the elevator. He's kind of pinned there now for the time being. It just depends on
He has a hatch below. He can
whether
drop down.
Hypex lets him out. Now, Hypex actually prioritizes the bulletproof camera there
He's
with
okay.
the nade.
He's okay.
Do you believe that the mute jammer's still up on that top floor, though? Which
Should be.
that's the whole reason that
Wait.
Hypex obviously went in there to deal with that.
Yeah, I can still hear like the flickering of
Yeah,
flare.
it's still there.
And he doesn't have the nade, and he's died.
And he's
Because
died.
Guess what? There's angle 960,000.
Not great problem solving, really, from Dunlimited. You've got to ask yourself, how worth it is it to really tunnel vision onto that one problem?
Here's the thing. I mean, I think they're very fortunate the fact that Rourke and also Nordwin has ended up above. But you've spent all that time of, oh, hey, we need to, get rid of this counter wall. We have to get the mute jammer in. But they've actually said, well, actually, we don't actually need to do that. We've just wasted everything. We look, we've got egg on our face. What are we doing?
Absolutely. You really got to focus on the important problems and not get sidetracked onto some of these mini games that the defenders often set up for you. And so far, it's costing you. Nothing's come through as a trade. You've lost 2 players. Things are looking pretty dire. Rorik announces himself in Tellers. Has an angle onto the site and can maybe look for a couple of rotations here, but Makers, they are dug in. They don't need to move. How many times do we find ourselves saying these same words? Rorik with the swing takes Sorry down. Wasn't expecting that one, that's for sure. Has an idea that somebody's going to be crouched behind the desk, but the kills do start to fly. Gemini keeps his team in it and gives them the edge, but will eventually fall. 2 seconds, Lolo. Keep yourself alive, my friend. All you got to do is pick the right time, and the right time is now. Another round coming down to time, another round coming close, but another round that Makers walk away with.
Yeah, Dunlimited just wasting so much time without really doing anything at all. Losing players too easily for my liking, and Dunlimited just really struggling with Bank, and that's what I expected. Again, we said yesterday Makers against 10-Star, it was, you could tell it was an off day. And we know that 10-Star maybe, they're probably sitting there thinking, God, we were very fortunate that they actually didn't have a good game on Bank. And here we are, sitting on Bank, and you can see Makers, whenever they're up for it, whenever things are working for them, things are going well. Difficult team.
And that's why they're here. That's why they are here with a shot at the finals.
Yep, I mean, Gemini.
Yeah.
My goodness, Ollie, that's...
He's got his
2
team
kills
on,
around.
Got his team in a backpack.
2 kills around. Very impressive.
Got his team in a backpack. Top floor. What could potentially be the last round of Bank tonight. Our 3rd map is going to be Clubhouse.
10 seconds to go.
If, of course, we get to it.
Ultimate decider.
Seconds left.
Who can do the basics right?
Who can crouch walk down main stairs the best?
No. After what Dunlimited did against Wild, I don't think we can say that.
That will always be the defining moment for Dunlimited in Challenge League for me. That first crouch walk from Hypex down those main stairs, and how far they've come since then.
Yeah, done really, really well this season. No matter what happens in this series, I think they should be very proud of themselves. 3rd place against some strong teams, and a team that was never favoured to really go all the way. I thought they were favoured to take over Helios Gaming, but they've proved me wrong.
still plenty of chance to keep proving people wrong here as well. They do have an opportunity to extend this game a little bit. They need to win 4 rounds and take us to an overtime. But so far, they've not shown us much bite on the attack. And they didn't really have much bite on their defenses. Again, struggling with this mute jammer at the top of Kanto wall. There's not much that they're going to be able to do to try and deal with that. We are seeing Akwi downed in just the top of those main stairs. Hypex's going to start to open things up with the Rotero drone as well. So for the first time in a long time, Demo, the kills are coming in Dunlimited's favour. They've really struggled on that entry, but now they're starting to see some success. Cheeky little jump out and a Claymore for Gemini. Don't forget the Claymore if you're going for the jump out. Is it going to be enough to keep his team in it? Well, with Hypex down, quite possibly. Sorry, downed as well, though. So essentially 3 versus 3 here. And don't forget, Gemini's got to make his way back on in, which technically he shouldn't be able to do, given that his location has been given up here. A careless swing from IWI and a good shot from Dore. Picks himself too. This is falling apart here for Dunlimited, where they looked oh so good. Nordwin making his way up these main stairs, flashing out. Gemini has made himself back into the building and can now start to push up these main stairs. He could be a bit of a problem come the later part of this round. There's still a full minute left here, Demo. A lot of time for Dunlimited to try and stabilize, but they have players loose, players unaccounted for.
Still echo cams you have to deal with. That's always going to be an issue, not just because of the plant denial, but just general information is going to be crucial for Mkers. Any info that you can get at this stage, just to figure out where the 2 remaining players are going to be coming from, it's going to help them out a lot. Both of them will be doubled up alongside one another. Into Janitor goes the swing for Nordwind. Oh, reloads at the wrong time. He's in deep into Janitors. Oh, and there's Dora again. And then Gemini, of course, gets the final kill. What a game he had, Ollie. And Mkers, well, that was a quick bank. They make swift work of their stronghold, we'll say.
7-2. I think that last push from Nordwind really speaks volumes. A really ill-timed swing. Timing really not on their side. Mkers, on the other hand, they could do no wrong. More specifically, Gemini, he could do no wrong on bank. 16-5 was the end score for him. Dora hitting 11 kills as well. Again, that supporting duo coming in as the 1-2 punch for Mkers. I'm quite surprised that we saw bank even chosen here as a map to play tonight. We know that Mkers are a very formidable side on this map, and they've shown us there just exactly why. We're going to cut to a very short break. After that, our desk will be back to break it down and to set us up for what will be our final map here tonight of Clubhouse. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back in just a few.
Mkers tie it up quite nicely as both teams now are standing 1-1, having won their respected maps. Wow, English is really difficult. My goodness. But what wasn't difficult for Mkers was this game, because if anything, they proved to us why Bank is actually their preferred map. But also, it's a little concerning because we said 10-star, they beat Mkers on Bank, they wrote the script, but Dunlimited, they had a couple of issues with the script.
They did. It was a very good performance from Mkers from start to finish. Really impressed with how they played it. Gave me flashbacks to the way they played against 10 Star the first time they played each other on Bank, where it was a 7-1 win. So what did they do really well? Well, pretty much everything. They shut down the roam game from Dunlimited whenever they were attacking and whenever they were on defence. Dunlimited had no answer whatsoever for people on the roam. Open area, in particular, at times just seemed like a graveyard for Dunlimited players.
I talked about how Mkers are such an effective team at getting in early and using a good drone network with good information to get early entries. That round where they all just pushed in from stock immediately, they wiped out Dunlimited in the first 45 seconds, and that was the tempo they set. They were so good at saying, all right, 3, 2, 1, let's go. And they won the rounds off that. That is why they like to go to Bank. That is their style of play. We don't see it a lot from them. And they struggle to play at that tempo consistently, but when they do, they are an absolute world beater.
Yeah, 7-2 for Mkers on their own map pick, which is absolutely incredible. It was the most convincing so far, but look at the cost for both Dora and Lolo. We know we've highlighted these players, but all in all, every single individual on this team just has really, really stepped up.
200% costs on one team just makes me happy. It goes to show how dominant they were. A 181 EPS for Gemini, going 16-5. Whoopit turned around and said to me on the way back after that round, he goes, he's the best player in the world. This is,
oh, really?
Yeah, I think he might have been exaggerating a little, but it was such a good performance by him.
And Gemini comes out top, MVP.
Look at the operators.
Absolutely.
Habana and Goyo, not really operators you'd expect to see with a 16-5 stat line.
Which brings the question, what went wrong? Or, in this case, what went right?
I think it was just a situation where Mkers on this map were too much to handle. The way they were just in Dunlimited's face. Maybe Dunlimited aren't used to that style of play where you're all automatically under pressure. I mean, when we look at the very first round, we saw Aqui getting the opening pick inside the lobby within seconds of it starting.
Yeah.
That was a pace, that was a tempo they set, and they never slowed down. Dunlimited didn't get a single rest period in that. They got those 2 rounds, and that was it. And they just could not catch up at all.
The first map that Dunlimited has dropped in the lower bracket is this Bank against Mkers, and if anything, it's also the first couple of opening rounds, because if anything, Dunlimited is so used to getting the first 2-3 rounds under their belt, get the lead going, and snowball off of it, whereas this time around, Mkers just put an absolute stop to that.
Yeah, they did. That was the worst performance I think we've seen from Dunlimited the whole way through Challenger League.
Okay.
And you could say it was really bad by them, but that's taking credit away. Mkers just played an almost perfect Bank. So to me, going into the third map, momentum is all with Mkers, because the first map was an overtime win from Dunlimited on the 15th round. So after a 7-2 in that second map, Mkers have all the momentum going into this one. And if they can just even play half as well as that one, they'll probably go ahead and win the series now.
Does this bring exhaustion into question? Because Mkers so far in the upper bracket, they haven't really had to fight for their lives, whereas Dunlimited, they have been under constant strain. Yes, they said it in their interviews themselves, don't overestimate your opponent, you can do whatever you want to do, even if they are the best in their region. But still, now it's a question of, this is maybe the worst we've seen Dunlimited play. Has it potentially caught up with them?
Well, this series alone is a massive fatigue factor. You've just played 15 rounds, a very tight 15-round game on Chalet.
Absolutely.
And now you've been kind of absolutely destroyed on Bank, you know. It's not an easy task to handle. You've had the most mentally draining game that you've played, and now you've lost your first map in the lower bracket. That is time for a mental reset. Now we know that they're calm. We know that they're composed. You know, every time we speak to Rorik, he tells us this. He lets us know. But now is going to put that to an absolute test. What do they have in the tank left for this final map? It's Clubhouse. They should know how to play it well. It's one of those more default maps, but Mkers, momentum with them, and if they keep that tempo going, it might be a big problem.
Yeah, Clubhouse is up next, and it looks like Dunlimited, they're in for a treat themselves, because maybe they have not expected this from Mkers, and no Riho, so they were really just locked into this game.
Yeah, they were. Mkers, as I said, from start to finish, they set the tone, they set the pace. One of the first rounds Dunlimited won was because of an alibi clutch. And you heard the guys on cast saying it's an alibi clutch. They don't really count it that much because of how easy it can be sometimes with that operator. But Mkers looked locked in. They looked really ready to play. That was more like what you expect from a side where the core trio have played at an SI. Like, they've actually been to the SI. We keep bringing it up. It's a big deal.
So now that we're going to be heading on to the final map here, Dunlimited, they need to step up. We have a little break, of course, so they have that opportunity to kind of reset and get back into it. But Mkers, they're hot on their heels. They're ready. They've just shown an incredible performance of a lifetime, potentially as so far as we've seen here in CL. So, Whippet, how worried are you about your prediction?
A little bit, just a little bit. If Dunlimited cannot put and cancel out that pressure instantly, yeah, it's going to be a Mkers map. I mean, that's how strong. If Mkers come out and win the first 3 rounds, I'm getting very worried for Dunlimited. You know, it's been a monster run in the lower bracket, but Mkers might just want that rematch with TenStar a little bit more and put us on for a 4th match between those 2 sides in this season.
Yeah, next game is going to be the final game for now because we still have the grand finals. It's going to be TenStar against whoever has won. We're going to be taking a little break to digest what we just seen as we're going to be coming back for the final map of this evening. So don't go anywhere.
Why do it yourself when robots do it better? Robots do it better. Robots do it better. Why do it yourself when robots do it better? Robots do it better. Robots do it better. Why do it yourself when robots do it better? Robots do it better. Robots do it better. Why do it yourself when robots do it better? Robots do it better. Robots do it better.
Covert specialist's best tools are secrecy and fear. We are the boogeymen of the military world. When we come for you, there's nothing you can do.
Going radio silent.
We're the best suited to deal with the worst. Our only directive is to achieve our objective. No questions, no red tape. The intel and contacts we acquire are more reliable than any big dog in a suit. They open more doors than any warrant. Say goodnight, desgraçado. Someone has to get their hands dirty to chase the rats out of the darkness. We are Ghost Eyes. We find our enemies in their homes, and we make them disappear.
Dunlimited against Mkers. It has come to the third map, which is going to be Clubhouse, where they have to fight it out to figure out who's going to be up against 10-star in the finals, seeking revenge. We're going to be heading straight into map, and we have our lovely casters, both Demo and Ollie, covering this. So guys, do your thing.
Hello everybody, welcome back. We are just about to get underway now with what will be our final map here tonight and the final map for us of Challenger League Demo. We will then pass off our 2 finalist teams to the EUL squad and they will cover it during the EUL finals. So for now, this is for everything. For a spot against 10-star in the grand finals of Challenger League. We've got Mkers, we have got Dunlimited. Both of these 2 teams have gone 1 map apiece so far. Who will take it to 2?
Here we go. Here we go. Clubhouse, the ultimate decider. Generally is what we view this map as, of course. And I mean, you have to kind of look at Clubhouse and how both these teams are expected to do. I think Dunlimited, after what they've done against Wild earlier this weekend, they're a team that I really do fancy just to play it simple, play it basic, and get really good results out of it. I think tonight Mkers have been the team for me, which has been a little bit too gung-ho at times. And it's almost been Mkers have played themselves more so than Dunlimited. I think, you know, we're not trying to discredit Dunlimited, but it does feel as though Mkers are the ones who make more of the mistakes and hinder their own performance.
Mkers, there's been a bit more reliance on that hero play. There's been a little bit more reliance on that single player stepping up. We saw a bad team performance from Dunlimited on Bank, whereas we saw a good team performance from Mkers, but a better individual performance from Gemini. And you just wonder how that's going to translate now into Clubhouse. Obviously, Clubhouse, a map that both of these 2 teams have played countless times, a map that Dunlimited have done very well on in the past. Getting the better of 10-star here all the way back in week number 1, Playday number 1. Yet now they start off on the attack. Mkers start off on the defense. If there's one thing that we do know, Demo,
Defenders,
neither team is going to be leaving anything on the sidelines tonight.
I mean, if they do, I don't know why. What are they hiding? You're out if you lose this. And also, even if whoever wins it, again, like, you have to remember, Ollie, after this game, new update on Tuesday.
True.
New meta on Tuesday. There is going to be massive changes, massive swings. Everything you've got in the locker, get it out. Everything in the Google Drive, get it out. Everything. You're not hiding it no longer, you don't need it.
Because it's all about to change. Any 1 speeds?
Oh, there'll be a...
Yes, mute. Yes, sledge.
Thatcher 1 speed.
It's going to be so weird to even play sledge.
Echo 2 speed. Echo 2 speed, madness that. Absolute madness. Well, look at this for Mkers. We have the extension hold where it is a basement, but as you can see, everybody is out and about on the roam game. And oh, Aqui straight away has been punished. What? Oh, look, I've been there. I've been there a few times where you think, oh, I'll quickly go into garage, shoot some drones. Maybe if someone tries to crouch walk in, I'll kill them. And then as you jump over, you get caught in the window.
This feels a bit rookie, doesn't it?
I've been there.
Just feels a little bit rookie. Dunlimited, a dangerous team when things go their way in that opening, and they are good at getting the opening. Aside from that opening pick, They've also managed to clear out the top floor, although they may not know it for the time being, as they just complete a little bit more drone work up here. But the top floor is entirely theirs for the taking. There's only Sorry left on the site. Now, he has got a fair bit of utility kicking around. He's got some Vulcan canisters and whatnot, and with the hatch open inside a bar and stock, there is option for him to drop back and for his teammates to rejoin him. That's exactly what Dora's going to do, but not before he takes Rorik down.
So Dunlimited, already half your time gone, but shouldn't be too much of an issue. Remember that for these types of hold ollie, that generally means that the hatches are already open, so you don't have to go through the painstaking selection of having to open up the hatches. They're already there, done for you. Now this is what worries me. And this, for me, is the make or break for Dunlimited. And right now, Ollie, it's breaking.
Lolo's hiding out there. Gemini is there to assist. IWY! Really? It's the UMP. It's the worst gun in the game, and he still loses the heads-up engagement. The round is in tatters for Dunlimited. They haven't achieved much at all here, Demo. They got the opening pick. They managed to clear top floor, and since then, nothing. Hypex, what are you going to do? You're going to drop Moto Hatch? There's still roamers. There's still people knocking about upstairs. Army, he's going to open the long angle on kitchen corridor, looking down into showers. But no one's going to give themselves away. Nobody needs to. Hypex, you can hold underneath the castle barricade for as long as you like. But you know that those players are going to drop and hurt you at a later point. Hypex immediately gets taken out in the site. Army is there to trade, but he's 1 versus 3. It's a 1 versus 1 on the site. There are 2 players off, but he's not looking in the right direction. Dora from underneath the hatch sees to it that he is sent to the cameras along with the rest of his team. A worrying round for round number 1. Where was the structure, Demo? Where was the plan?
Beats me. 2 players in strip, drone work not being done. My goodness.
At the point where you ban the Hibana as well, at the point where Dunlimited bans the Hibana, they know that they're not going to get kitchen very easily. That means that you need to be going for blue and moto and main stairs and triple wall. These are the areas that you need to be focusing on. There was no focus. If you know that the Hibana's banned, you know you're not getting kitchen. You can just say goodbye to kitchen. The funny thing is, they probably could have got it because they brought secondary hard breach gadget, they brought ace, and they brought thermite.
If you're a team approaching a roam, right? And here's the thing about the roam game is it's always going to force you into attack it, no matter what. Everyone knows that if you try and just ignore a roam game in Clubhouse, it's not going to work. Because there's too many angles. There's too many vertical angles you can gain. Because if you actually think about it, I suppose you could get away with going for a kitchen dirt while ignoring the whole roam game. But then again, what's to stop players going above the kitchen hatch? What's to stop them rotating down at a later stage and having bar control, making these long angles out? There's going to be a lot of issues. And even just pushing kitchen dirt can also be a tricky push just in its whole. So I think as the attacking side, you're always going to push the roamers. You're always going to do it. And it just comes down to Dunlimited struggled with just a simple clear.
Which is funny, given that they got the opening kill. And they had all that control quite early on. It just took them a long time to get it. The drone work hasn't been as good as it has been for Dunlimited, and that's a good example of it. That's unfortunate timing, and amongst other things, Army is going to find one back. Nice little angle there on the rappel. A couple of nades getting sent through. Hypex already inside of Jim, and the cross being held. Army has the diffuser, though, and Nordwin, he's going to be pushing himself through the site as well. A little bit of a cursory glance toward those main stair. Maybe feels like he's being spotted. There is still going to be a player below Demo, and 2 C4s in pocket. Gemini playing down inside of the showers. He's going to see to it that the downstairs is covered as long as Dora is able to hold on to this top floor, which he's doing quite nicely so far. A little shotgun blast is going to be enough to take Nordwin down. Hypex still struggling to find out whatever it is that's spotting him. We'll have to throw out an EMP to disable it for the time being. There is still information though, and there is still a player below, and that's going to be a main concern. Army knows that. He's not in position to do too much about things right now. Lolo just hanging out inside of construction. And with Army falling, that goes the diffuser as well. And what looked like a hopeful quick push has turned into nothing more than a slugfest. Dora, another kill with the shotgun at close range there inside of logistics. And well, Demo, a very clean-cut round from Mkers. This is looking like it could be a fairly quick evening.
Dunlimited did the exact same thing against Wild the other day. Doesn't work this time against Mkers. They're they're a more regimental side compared to Wild. Wild sometimes lose the structure a bit. I think Mkers, they're all one unit. You can see that. They all have almost the same brain the way that they play the Siege. And that's, moments like that isn't going to work. And not only that, like, think about the positioning. The player who rushes into Jim is the one without diffuser. They were in sight, sure, for a good portion of the round, but if the diffuser doesn't get planted, it really means nothing.
It was strange, wasn't it? It was strange indeed. Do you think that we've got to the bottom of the strat book for Dunlimited, and they're just churning out? It's like when a good sort of band or a good pop group, they have a couple of good years, and then the rest of their life is just touring the old days. Such classics as Take Top Floor.
Coming at you with hits such as Bathroom Rush. Or who can forget everyone's favourite, Crouch Walk Down Main Stairs.
The #1 bestseller, Kitchen Dirt. Maybe that's what we've got to.
We want, this is always the worry with Dunlimited. Was they do keep it basic, they do keep it simple, and they do it very, very well. But I don't think we've ever approached the situation where, what if they come against a team who knows what they're doing?
Yeah. What happens when they get hard countered?
Yeah.
Where's the adaptation?
Yeah.
Mkers certainly know what to set up for here, and it looks as though they know how long to hold it for as well. They've dipped out of cash. Happy with the progress they've made in the first minute. Don't forget, this is a bar defense. Top floor is the most crucial zone to hold for this defense. It's the most crucial zone to attack onto as well. There's no way of getting the plant down if people are holding up above. And usually, there's a lot of information kicking around as well. Sorry, just giving us a bit of a tour of his Maestro cameras there. We've got some Valkyrie cams knocking around as well. All of which does a great deal to slow down this attacking push.
Plenty of info. A lot of roamers still above, holding firm, and this is how you play it. Using the vertical angles, using the information, it means that nobody can plant inside of the site. So therefore, Dunlimited, they will have to clear above. They will have to attack into construction. Have to get that single wall open first, and I think they've done that. I heard the Selma charge go off alongside the EMP grenade, and yep, I think the single wall is going to be open now. So the whole thing with the whole process now for Mkers is they're going to have to try and retake somewhat, right? They're going to have to try and retake the hatch, because the hatch is the end-all and be-all. That hatch covers majority of the plant spots that you want to try and get yourself into. So Mkers are going to have to try and retake that. It's not going to be an easy job. They're trying to maybe go for the picks of the players outside. That was a risky one from the castle, and IWI has found him. I'm interested in the Valkyrie. Where on earth has Akwi got himself into? Ollie, he's in garage.
Oh, he missed a freebie.
This is danger, man.
Could be quite big there. He has to try and transition and make this work. Is going to get taken out there. Only into a down, but not outstate, and not before he gets the frag onto Hypex.
Retake.
Kills now starting to come in for Dunlimited, as Nordwin will finish off Akwi further in that advantage. But Demo, look at the time. 15 seconds left. You've still not got top floor. This can still be held from above. What a shot from Rorik. Pinning Lolo to the deck. Sorry,
Info.
keeping his team in it. There must be information on this, but IWI comes out of nowhere. Flies up main stairs, straight through, pre-fires construction hatch. Dunlimited, they left it to the final second, but somehow they made it look planned.
No, they dealt well with the retake, and you knew that was going to come in for Mkers. It was their only option was to retake that hatch. Hatch is king. Mkers just getting caught out. I mean, I like the idea of using the Valkyrie to almost create a distraction, while the other two then just burst in through cash. I like that idea, because if you know somebody's in garage, we seen the ace for a period actually left his position, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
But wasn't meant to be.
2-1. It's good that Dunlimited were able to pick a round up there. I was getting a little bit worried, I'll be honest. I'm glad that they've picked one up in bar. It is, of course, the third choice site. we aren't going to see CCTV today, or at least I highly doubt that we will. There's only one team that's taken us there, demo, and they're no longer here. So, most likely going to flick between church, gym, and bar.
Still looking good for Mkers, though, to get a 4-2 half.
Not looking too bad. There needs to be a real big shift here in how we see Dunlimited attack. I'd like to see them move a little bit quicker. I'd like to see them take that top floor and use that drone work that we've praised them for.
Minor few changes to the setup for Mkers. So they are going to extend, they are going to roam. However, they sacked off the castle and they've actually reinforced the majority of the hatches. So they haven't left them soft, which is one thing that we pointed out last time. And they've also brought in the Kite. If at some point we see a Thatcher die, I think the round's done. And I think that's great insight, I think, for Mkers, is knowing that Dunlimited are always going to try and clear. If you are to challenge and you are to kind of play that, if I'm staying here, if I get a kill, I get a kill. If I die, I die, right? Which is, I think, what we've seen from Mkers has been that mentality. If you find the Thatcher, that is the key.
Hypex has got an important job to keep himself alive. Seen a couple of walls already opened. That's going to be the majority, if not all, of Thermite's utility, as both of those are going to be exothermic holes.
Early drop, has to be said. You know, only a minute wasted.
Not a lot of time and not a great deal of util. They've managed to pick off a couple of drones, which of course is always good. But Dunlimited have got that roam clear done quite cheaply. Now I've got the small problem of these Electroclaws. One of the saving graces that Dunlimited have got, and maybe they're not privy to this knowledge, is but there's no impacts. There's 3 C4s, which is going to be a problem. I would doubt we see Kitchen Hatch approached.
Think, oh yeah, no impacts, guys, but 3 C4s, yeah.
But you might have a chance there at using the ace to open up that Kitchen Hatch if that's where you're going to go. But I would expect... Oh dear, a blunder.
Goodness
well,
me.
Fortunately, we can see that Kide isn't underneath to make anything happen there, but there is going to be a Yokai drone.
Triple wall church take, that is where we're at. Ace is still alive, which is really strong, and there's nothing on the triple wall. Ace, get yourself down, get that wall open, and also Mkers, they're going to find it difficult. Very, very difficult. Whenever you know that you're up against a triple wall take, the best place to probably be as a defender is probably in the back of armory, because if you know they're not going for kitchen, you'd probably think, oh, well, I can sit underneath kitchen hatch. But no, Dunlimited have brought in the back. They've opened up the back of kitchen. They've got pretty much everything under wraps.
Hypex is going to find himself an important kill there onto Gemini. I'm not sure if Nordwin is aware that somebody is going to be inside of blue, but it's Dora from Dirt Tunnel he needs to be concerned with. Picks himself one, IWI a second. Army, he's got the kit, he's going to have time maybe to revive Hypex, but Sorry is going to be on the swing. Is he going to catch them both lacking? Wow. Yes, he does! Caught in the reload, Diffuser dropped to the ground. 2 versus 2, 10 seconds left. Rorik comes in an attempt to save the day. Lolo, you've just got to keep yourself alive. The Diffuser, it is going to start to go down. There was a Yokai drone knocking around. Is he going to try and pre-fire through? There are holes that are going to work. One on the other side of the barricade. One on the same. Lolo picks one. He's got to hit the reload. Rorik's doing the same. This is tense stuff right here. Rorik comes out better. What a tight round, Demo. Not a lot in that at all. Mistakes galore, but exciting siege. Dunlimited, they level things up here. That's going to mean a lot.
Back and forth, back and forth. Could have went either way. Could have easily have went either way. 2-2, Dunlimited back in the game. We needed that. Kept it basic. Early clear out of the roamers, I think, was probably an issue for Mkers. I think the fact that they gave up so much for such little time is a bit of a surprise. There wasn't even a bullet fired, I don't think.
No. It was just simply jacuzzi wall, east wall, done. Why are we here?
Well, it's always a good question. You know, why are we as a civilization forced to...
No.
Okay. Oh.
Why are we in CCTV room?
Yeah, it's fun.
It's not fun. It's not fun at all. As Army's banned, there's no double French.
5 seconds left.
I would have thought we'd see Mkers give it another go over in gym.
Like the pickups from Dunlimited, Capitao and Monty, 2 staples in these cash rooms attacks. very, very strong with clearing out garage, of course. And if you're bringing those two operators, you are pushing garage. That is a must. Yeah, it's risky, I think, for Mkers to go here, considering that it's an Azami ban. Azami, as we know, is so strong at holding catwalk. You can block up the open panels, and it just makes that catwalk just a brick wall you're not getting through anytime soon. However, Wamai being chosen is going to be a minor thing that they have to try and get through. Capitao cannot just flex those arrows as freely as what he would want to. So they have to get plenty of burn, and they only have, what, 4 smokes there, Ollie, unless they're willing to sacrifice some of the EMP grenades?
Yeah, this is really about timing, and it looks as though IWI is going to instead be going for the kill here to achieve that time, and he's taking a little bit of damage. Not an easy battle to do this. You're relying on the coordination between your Monty player and you, and well, Gemini feels fairly confident to keep peeking up through that for the time being.
Is main wall open? Yeah, I don't think it is. And as soon as main wall gets open, then the pressure happens onto the Wamai, and it will be opened up. Sophia moving in with the Sophia stuns, being able to get the band off the trick, and the wall's opened up. However, I do worry. Let me see Nordwin's point of view. Does he have a good line of sight onto Gemini? That's the question. Not the best. He can't really swing from the window. He doesn't have the window angle open to him, so that does make things a little bit tricky. The only way that Gemini's going to lose his life is if he walks back into 90, which is very unlikely.
Well, we're starting to see some of this burn come through now. There is going to be a yokai drone that's been moved into garage to assist Gemini in holding on. That. We are now starting to see the fire arrows go through. Nordwin sees some success from that main breach. Akwi forced into moving, but Gemini stuck himself into the corner. 2 versus 2. Lolo inside of construction. Doro making his way into cash room as well. Lost 1 yokai drone, but still has another. These got some miles on them, these yokai drones. They've been all over the gaff. Army and Hypex now have to try and coordinate both, gathering a little bit of information in the drone. They're not really buddied up at the minute. Hypex is going to make his way up garage. There is going to be a yokai in for the site as well.
Most important, the C4 still remains with Lolo, and that could be the game changer. He's going to use the information from the echo and then drop below for a guaranteed kill. There's no point trying to go for the long distance throw and maybe miss, maybe get shot. Go for the surefire denial from below.
Well, this is where it needs to come through. Baited out almost perfectly, but Doro is going to find one onto Hypex in the meantime. Army has to push through aggressively and pick the kill. He can now hop up onto the thing and get the plant down, but no, instead thinks about going for the kill. If the player was to push up cash stairs, Lolo, he's caught inside of... He doesn't know what to do. He's pushing pillar, pushing post. He's actually allowed him to get it down. This is hella dangerous, Army! You can't get away with that! Oh no, Lolo! Somebody that has played so well, so consistently for Mkers. What a blunder. You could see him. He didn't know which way to turn downstairs. Do I go up? Do I stay down? Is it a bait? Is it a switch? He made him look like a rookie.
You sound stressed. Is everything okay? Is your blood pressure well?
We've often talked about this, haven't we? Like heartbeat monitor on the cast.
Right. Look, let me be real. It wasn't bad from Dora until I seen him not just shotgun him from below. It's all right hiding in stock. That's fine. You have 2 options. You sit at the bottom red stairs, rush up red stairs.
It was Lolo that was below, wasn't it?
Oh yeah. Lolo below. He has a choice: red stairs, push up, kill him, use the information. Of course, a little bit risky because then you're putting yourself down to a gunfight, which we've seen it sometimes. You get pre-fired running up red stairs, or you sit in stock and you shotgun him below. And I look at that and I think, you've sat in stock, you have clear information. There was info. There was clear pings coming in.
There was a bulletproof
Why
demo.
has he not just shotgun him below?
There was a bulletproof inside of cash.
It's like he's committed to one and then he's changed last moment, but then he doesn't have time. Very confusing.
That could be the confidence that Dunlimited need here. Hypex is going to kick off round 6 with an opening pick as well. And all of a sudden, it looks like a 4-2 split is on the cards. Now, let's not get too ahead of ourselves because they've still got to attack into gym and bedroom, which they didn't successfully do last time.
Just felt like a cluster of comms last round. Even like that premature C4.
Yeah.
Why not wait until he's...
Why not wait until there's no time left?
Exactly.
Yeah.
You have so much info. I don't know. Bad round for Mkers. Bad round.
That's all it takes, though. One bad round.
Yeah, they need to wake
Give
up.
the other team, give your opponent a bit of an in, and Dunlimited have definitely had that in now. Even if they come out 3-3, I think they'll be fairly pleased, especially with how this game started off.
I said it was looking good for a 4-2 for Mkers.
It was at a time. Oh, this could be a freebie here. Has Gemini got the angle, though, or is actually going to get caught
No,
out
you
on
have to
the
jump out the
drone?
window to get the angle. And that's not the easiest thing to do.
I thought that was just space. You just got to run up to the window and click space.
Well, no, but jumping through that, the thing is you can get shot, and also, if you try to get a kill through those grates, it's
Well, they are bulletproof.
annoying.
It's well known that
Yes,
they are
it's,
bulletproof.
you know,
It's what they make Kevlar out of.
it's annoying.
Gemini must feel like he's getting hunted here inside a bar.
I mean, he certainly is. I think that's a definite. We know how thorough Dunlimited are in their hunting capabilities of these roamers. Sorry, really getting good value out of the 10-second rule that you have with the Echo cameras. There's your spacebar, Ollie. This time, a little bit more favourable, because that is going to be an easy kill. It's not the other side of garage. You have to shoot through the bars. It is straight to the point. Patience is a virtue, my friend. You would have been dead if that was you a few seconds ago.
It really is, and I'm surprised that Dunlimited are hung around there because they know that the Yokai drone gets played out of that drone hole. They know that that's something that Mkers like to do, and they've sort of just waited for it to happen to them. It has only leveled things up, so there's still an advantage here for, or still an opportunity, should I say, for Dunlimited. Bit of a ropey nade from
Rush
IWI.
bathroom.
He's just going to go with another one. Army, you say rush bathroom, he's found himself a kill. He's got himself tucked into showers now. There are, however, a couple of players below, and one of them has a C4. Gemini, how much info do you have this time, and are you going to wait for the opportune moment? This plant is almost down here. You may be going to get a kill, but it's not going to be onto the planter. Hypex is down, but the plant has been stuck. You maybe get yourself outside here, sorry, if you're lucky, but he's almost certainly going to get himself into an engagement. IWI from Jacuzzi balcony. Gemini gets the call, but he too will fall. Line him up, he'll knock him down.
Seen the shake of the head. They're not happy with that round because they defended that push really well previously in that site. And this time, now it works.
Well, guess what was different? Army had the diffuser.
Even still, it was the same kind of idea.
Timeout for Mkers, no surprise. Couple of rounds really not going their way.
I can't believe I said 4-2 for Mkers.
You are lost.
I'm not.
Lost and tired.
I'm not lost.
Well, Mkers certainly lost it toward the end of that round. Or the end of that split, should we say.
Yeah, those last two rounds,
pretty terrible.
That last round was convincing.
Honestly, I think the CCTV cash room was a tilter. An absolute tilter.
Well, they've called the timeout at the side switch.
Which would indicate that there is other things going wrong other than just gameplay.
I mean, we're missing a play. Look at the bottom middle.
Acqui?
He's invisible. Where is he?
Maybe he's
He's gone.
I don't know.
Oh,
He's back.
he's back.
He's back.
That's right. That's an M&M classic. User needs the toilet. Call a timeout.
If you gotta go, you gotta go.
Happens all the time. You don't hear it during the comms. Guys, we need the timeout. I need to go to the toilet. He tells it all the time. Honestly, I've never seen a man who needs it more than him.
Is the timeout going to end? I thought the bar at the top was like an indication of how long it had left.
It's a myth.
Is that just
It's a myth.
Is that just a loading error? Haha.
Oh.
Oh.
Army's gone.
Oh dear.
Everyone's going to the toilet.
It's like herding cats. We can't get 5 players in the same place at the same time.
My goodness. Tech pause.
Oh dear.
Rorik's turned his cam off. Why?
I'm not sure.
So now we wait. Apologies, everyone. It happens.
Seems as though Sorry has got himself a HUD bug. We'll have to get him loaded back in. Hopefully we get him back in quickly. It's not ideal after a timeout as well to then have to go into a tech pause. Mkers, I'm sure they'll be using this time to get themselves set up for the next half. Things really haven't been going too well for them. Mkers are an unlucky team demo. It seems like when things don't go well in the server. Things don't go well technically either.
It is worrying.
Very unlucky.
Hopefully they're all back. Hopefully they're all back.
At least Army's made it back.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder, what do we start a bet? Would you like a wager?
I want the game to start. That's what I want.
Would you like a wager with me for the meantime, though?
Right, where's it going? Go on then.
Is Schreichel going to get the bands right in the right
Well,
order?
he hasn't had to fully rehost the lobby, has he? I don't think he has, so he should be okay.
Oh, he's not had to rehost the whole lobby. Okay.
He's all right. He's okay.
So it should be fine then.
Mm-hmm.
Fingers crossed it should be okay.
I hate moments like this in the big games because it's
It's
just
so annoying, isn't it?
get it going. Come on, come on. Just want to see what happens. It's like the commercial breaks came on at the good bit.
Yeah.
Why has it done that? No, what happened to him?
I mean, the good bit is the good part of it all is,
Something's happened. The EastEnders teams came on.
but you're not going to miss the good bit. Because the good bit is...
What happened to Phil? What's he done?
Dum,
What's
dum,
happened to Peggy?
dum, 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 dum. You're not going to miss the good bit, though, Demo, because the good bit is happened, and is going to happen.
Mm.
Oh, I can hear everybody leaving the lobby.
Oh,
no.
Dear.
Oh, dear. So it seems like we are going to have to remake. We are going to switch into a rehost. Goodness gracious.
I'm missing the football.
There's something going on.
There is.
I don't know anything about it.
I'm missing the football.
Well, I'm not missing anything because I am here for Challenger League Demo. Wake up.
Sure, Challenge Leagues every season. Sure. When do we get the World Cup?
Every season.
Every 4 years.
Right. You've caused it to go this far.
Okay.
This is a mixture of faults.
Right.
This is a mixture of faults. What are we going to do? We are going to go for...
What are we doing?
I am going to give you some statistics.
Right.
And you are going to tell me whose statistics they are.
Guess the player.
Guess the player.
Everyone play at home. Fun little game we've got for you.
So, guess the player.
Okay.
We're going to start with an easy one. None of these are going to be easy.
Okay.
Plus 39.
Plus 39.
KD.
Okay.
How many clues should we give him?
I don't know.
How many clues do you want?
10.
10 clues? You must be mad. How many clues would you like, Demo?
I'll take 5.
You'll take 5 clues. It's probably one of your favourite players.
Maurice?
No, not Maurice. Probably one of the players that you have spoken about the most, but very rarely used his name.
This is in CL?
Yeah. Who's a player that you talk about quite a lot, but don't actually use the name?
I'm supposed to get 5 clues. You've only given me one, and that was his opening kills. Or not his opening kills.
No, I've given you another clue
KD.
there.
Okay, give me another one.
We featured him in the sofa section. So that narrows it down.
Right.
You often talk about this player, but you rarely use his name.
Can I ask you a question to see?
Yeah.
Right. Is he from the UK?
No. You can literally see the wheels turning inside of his head. If he took his headset off, there'd be steam coming out.
Is it JEGS?
No.
Someone who I like, but I don't say his name.
Yep.
Give me another clue.
They're not playing tonight.
Did they play yesterday?
Yes.
Deadshot.
Yes.
What do you mean I don't mention his name?
You always call him the disciple.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
That was that good of a game.
Your game show. Leave me with the game shows.
Well, it got us through the rehost
Right,
demo.
leave me with the game shows.
It got us through, so we're all right. 4-2.
Joker.
Dunlimited. A good switch, or a good side swap. Make no mistake, we were not expecting this to go 4-2 Dunlimited. At one point, Demo even said it could go 4-2 Makers. And look how the turns have tabled, hey?
Why are you laughing at me?
I'm not laughing at you. We all say silly things. We probably say more silly things than most, given that we have to talk.
I don't say silly things.
Yeah, you do.
No, I don't.
Yeah, you do.
5 seconds left.
What would you like to see here from Makers Demo? Is it a fuse?
Attackers must locate.
Is that what you'd like to see?
It's a few.
Because that's what you're going to get.
Oh, Jesus wept.
3 C4s.
I was not expecting the fuse. Right.
Hibana's banned.
I've seen fuse a few times. And... right. I'm just going to get out here. I think fuse is just not very good. The reason being is he's a 1-speed. And that's always going to hinder him. It's always going to hinder him.
It is. Do you think that Fuse will be good next season when a lot of other people are 1-speeds?
No, because he's still a 1-speed.
But a lot of other people are going to be 1-speeds.
I get that, but nobody's playing those operators then.
That's true.
I don't like... maybe it's just me, personal preference, as me playing the game. Obviously, that's always going to affect how me and you see it, is just from our experience, but I just don't like playing 1-speeds, unless they're Doc and they're in a Rick skin. That's the only time.
And they're in what?
A Rick skin.
Oh, you and your pickled Rick skins. You're a menace.
Dangerous.
You're a menace to the shop.
I mean, I just don't see where you're going to get the value out of the cluster charge.
I don't see where you're going to get the value in this round.
Like, the only thing I can think of is you could clear, if there was, which there isn't, you could clear a Banshee that could be in bottom main stairs using the cluster charge.
It's for clearing utility, isn't it?
But there isn't much utility that you can even if there was like the utility that you're thinking of, there isn't really going to be that anyway.
No, there's no significant utility underneath the hatch. Of course, you could use it to area clear. It brings a secondary heart breach, but so do a lot of other things now. It's just strange to see Kitchen and Dirt being the focus when Hibana's banned.
Just my opinion. I'm just not the fan. That's just it.
Is there a Valkyrie cam in Kitchen as well? I'm sure if there is, it would be a nightmare.
Generally, they get caught out very quickly. Because it's very easy to see. If you see a Valkyrie go in Kitchen, you bet your money there'll be a cam in there. And I think teams have obviously came very prepared for that. You know, look at these cluster charges. What is that actually doing?
Not a great deal.
See what I mean? Like,
Rorik's doing more, takes Akwi down. Why Akwi's making his way down main stairs at this point in the round, God only knows. IWI going to smoke off for Nordwin just in case anyone decides to push the self down blue. Dirt tunnel has been open, so IWI does need to be cautious. Another fuse cluster charge goes down, followed by the hatch getting opened. But Hypex has been allowed to stay, and he's actually tucked himself in quite nicely there. Got a great angle onto the bottom of main stairs as Rorik doubles down, picks another up onto Gemini. Hypex, he doesn't have a C4 anymore, but he's primed and ready for any player that should drop, because I don't think that they know where he is, Demo. He's going to drop immediately into his lap, and that deters anyone else from making the same jump. Sorry, finds one, but immediately is going to be traded out as Rorik starts the game as he, finishes the game as he started it, picking up yet another. A desperate Kitchen hatch drop potentially, Demo.
No, just
what are we watching?
Everything wrong with Makers. Everything was wrong. Kitchen Dirt is the simplest take you can ever go for in this game, and I'm very headstrong about that. You control Kitchen, you open up the hatch, you go to Dirt, you open up the wall. You have to clear a tunnel, a simple tunnel which is just one way. You don't even have to clear Kitchen, because it's generally already cleared out. Like, who's sitting underneath Kitchen hatch? Nobody's going to do that. That's it, right? Few mistakes from Makers, and it just shows that you need to play the basics well. First mistake. What the heck was Akwi doing at the bottom of main stairs, proning about like a slug? What was he doing? Instead of sitting at the bottom, holding that cross as safely as he can, no problems. Can't even clear Dirt. Can't even clear Dirt. Are you serious? I rest my case.
Another problem with that attack, and with any attack, is that as soon as you lose the first man, you're light in that area.
We call it the basement bloodbath for a reason.
Yeah.
Because it always comes down to a full 5v5, Who wins the kills wins the kills. If you're a defender or an attacker and you give away picks early without any trade-off, you will start to suffer because the extra man makes such a massive difference.
It's worse for the attackers to give a man away because then they lack pressure in that zone.
You have to remember with that basement, there's what, 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 4 or 5 different ways into that site. You need to try and give yourself as many of those options as you can. If you're pushing from only 2 areas, generally it's quite easy. But as soon as there's a third avenue of approach from the attackers, that's whenever it gets desperate for defenders, and that's whenever they struggle, whenever they start getting hit on different fronts.
Dunlimited are in a really good spot now here on Club. 5-2 as the score currently sits.
A bomb has been located.
Mkers, they've not got very many more chances, Demo.
I mean, they're 2 rounds away.
They've got a long way to climb back here. 3 flawless rounds before even giving away a match and series point.
Oh, and look where they are, Ollie. Look where they all are. Are they going to go for a rush? I hope not.
Certainly hope not.
Okay,
Jacuzzi has been opened. It's quite a low ace charge, but it does the job of shifting army out of the way.
The reason why you have that ace charge is 1, it still clears out the player inside of bathroom. It clears them out of the cubicle. And 2, it's an angle that the defenders cannot use. It's only the attackers. It's a one-way angle. Very, very strong for someone on the rappel.
Mkers. Getting the way in through CCTV and Cash side now.
Nobody's home in Cash.
Waiting for a little bit of drone work to catch up. Would be nice to get that construction wall open, but it by no means is a requirement at the minute. Gemini just seeing if he can find anybody and grab a pick on one of the windows, and they're looking to zone in on Nordwind, and well, he will fall.
Oh, they fully reinforced construction wall. That's an issue, Ollie.
Akwi picks himself up a second. The C4 comes over the top, but it isn't going to be enough. Akwi, he's on a tear. Lolo shuts Hypex down. Mkers look like an entirely different team this round, Demo. They have stormed through everything. Flawless round.
Yeah, they fully reinforced construction walls, Ollie, and for what purpose? I assume it's to try and expect a full rush in from the bathroom side of things, but I think that was great decision making and good heads-up thinking from Akwi specifically. Using the drone, seeing nobody's home at Cash, it was left like a ghost town, essentially, by the defense. Seeing that the double wall is reinforced, it gives him a one-way fight. If you're walking through that construction door, the issue is you either have to challenge to the doorway or challenge to the bridge, both of which you can get killed from one another, right? If you eliminate one of those, he's pushing one doorway, and that's so easy for him. Just, don't reinforce that wall, because that happens.
Well, Mkers have done it once. Can they do it again and again?
Only time will tell.
Tune in, find out. Find out next week.
We'll be back after these messages.
After the break.
I would have loved production just to actually put on
Imagine
the
they
bumper.
just throw the bumper break screen there.
Been great comp production.
Now we're probably getting a lot of trouble for that.
No.
Well. Dunlimited, are they going to go for the same setup again? It looks as though we're seeing a bit of a change on the Mkers side, Demo. A full 5-man 6-pick. Glaz, Monty. It's a bold play, given the stakes.
You've resorted to this.
Oh dear. Oh, what a pick. Onto the Thermite.
Right, not the end all and be all, because they have ace, but still something that's going to hit them. Not only losing the man, I think having Thermite to open up a big breach in Jacuzzi is a must. You also have to keep in mind that the reason why Thermite goes really well with Monty is Thermite opens up the entirety of the wall so Monty can walk through. Ace has to use 2 Selmas to make a walk-through hole, which is what you're after as a Monty.
Yeah. We've already heard one of the Selmas used there on construction, but you can see that's all you get out of one. It's a hop through or a crouch through. Typically made as a hop through because it's a bit more consistent to make.
Oh, I worry. I really do worry now for Mkers.
I worry a little bit just with the general kit that you've got now as well. You're thinking about, okay, we've got the Glaz, we've got the Monty. What is the plan going to be? Because
he's going down Logi. He's going down Logi.
Got to try and get that Monty in a meaningful way. We're going to see the drop come through. Nordwind finds one. Dora is able to take him out, however. Still advantage here for Dunlimited, but sorry, through the smoke is able to find one. Dunlimited, don't fall for this. It's one of the older tricks in the book. And so far, you had an advantage. A couple of off-site players here. RWI.
Worried.
Seeing if anybody's out on the balcony. Got to be a little bit concerned here. Look at all the info that Dora is able to provide here.
Outcomes.
Got a great idea of where all the utility is, knows that there's going to be a player in construction. If someone gets themselves onto that construction window, they could really cut them out of the fight here, and that would be a problem. Sorry, he's keeping his sights trained over on the cash window, but for the meantime, we'll look for a rotation. Army, preoccupied with the breach, but really ought to be worried about the hatch drop. Mkers aren't looking to rush this here. They know that they have the time to make sure that they don't make any silly mistakes. But Hypex has got a bit of a tough ask on his hands here. Picks himself one, but the Monty with the drop shield is good for yet another. Army and IWI now locked into the 2 versus 2. Army just gets himself away from that engagement. There's so much info available on the site. We do have the bulletproofs. But if Doro can drop the diffuser and maybe block things off here, it could be a different story. Army target prioritization is on point. What have we just seen? What have we just seen from Dora?
4 kills is what you've seen.
He's dropped the shield again, Demo.
Both of them.
How?
Trapped in construction. Speechless.
Oh dear. That's a tilter, if ever you've seen one.
I didn't want to say anything whenever the round was being played out. Looking at that, whenever the drop came in from Logi, and it was into the 3 versus 3, and I was looking, right, we seen Hypex by himself inside a gym, and I was really worried because I seen that the other 2 players were sat in cash. For what purpose?
So lost.
For what purpose?
I don't know why they didn't just make a rotation up main.
Why was there 2 of them?
Yeah, it didn't make any sense.
You're leaving Hypex in the bear pit against the Monty. You have to remember the biggest issue with Monty is as soon as he drops the shield, it is an audible sound cue. You know whenever he's done that. And whenever he drops the shield, you pre-fire him to all heck. Whenever that D-shield happened from the Monty, why? There needed to be somebody with Hypex to refrag.
I am going to go through the game file and I want to watch that from everyone's POV, from Army's POV, just to see what went wrong, what happened there. Army and IWI. Put them on fraud watch. Put them on it.
And they're back, this time, with a different operator. The Sens! I'm seeing a Sens on my screen! So...
Well, you said don't leave anything in the Google Drive.
Well, Sens makes an appearance. Sens, where do we begin with them? First of all, is a 1-speed. Straight away, was always the issue with them. For me, whenever I thought the kit was nice, I think a really cool idea of an operator, but 1-speed. As we know, next season, not anymore, 3-speed next season. Oh, wait till we see the Sens gameplay change then. But for the meantime, still very slow, very sluggish. The good thing that I can see happen for this basement push is you can basically cut off a full strip down the main corridor, which is dangerous to have.
What a trick.
Very good trick. But yeah, Sens can be great for going down bottom main stairs and just cover off the entire corridor for the easy drop in towards kitchen hatch. So that is where you can really use the Sens to great effect. Rorik! What a pick! Lolo's doing it. This is the thing. Lolo's playing Buck, and Lolo is opening the floor the safe way, where you go to the top floor inside of office and you buck through 2 sets of floors as to not be C4'd. What does Rorik do? He shoots them in the head. That's the safe way, apparently.
Well, if you can't get it open the safe way, hate to think how he would get it open the dangerous way. Dora, are you going to risk an exothermic onto the kitchen hatch, or are you going to think better of it? Not only have you lost Lolo, but you've also lost with him one of the hard breach gadgets. You do still have one in Sorry's hands, so could look to try and make that work, but even then, what's the plan beyond?
They've also lost the Buck, so that means they cannot open up the Ashwall rush.
Well, it's already open a little bit, I think.
But it's not enough for a run-through.
Oh, that's it. Honestly, single doorway, single window. Get ready for some hell of bloodbath siege, because that's what we're about to see. Sens is going to place
shot.
the barrier, but I don't think he's going to do all too much there. You don't peek that after you hear a Glaz. There is a saying in Siege, and that is that we do not peek Glaz.
Look at that wall.
The diffuser
Wow.
cold on the ground, the wall not doing much at all, and immediately Army shuts down. Sorry, Hypex finds one as well. A flawless for Dunlimited to send them onto match and series point.
Yeah, horrific attack, has to be said. From Mkers, just, what was it? Get Wild back in. The Wild, you're not as bad as what I thought. Get them back in.
This is for a spot in the finals, Demo. This is for €2,500. What are we witnessing?
I don't know. Like, Mkers today, there's been some great rounds, but some rounds I'm just thinking, what are you doing? That's what it really... the decision-making from Mkers today, I think, has been below standard for their caliber.
Yeah.
Big time. You have to remember everyone, right? If we were to look at Mkers versus Dunlimited at the start of the year, Dunlimited weren't even existing.
No.
Right? There should be a clear gap between Mkers and Dunlimited. There should be. But it's not happening. And we're sitting here and you're probably thinking, oh, well, you know, give credit to Dunlimited. Dunlimited have done exceptionally well, and we can't ask any more of them. What they've already achieved, Ollie, in this competition has been miraculous.
The best in the world.
It has been. And anything they do after this, it's just, wow, you know, you've already impressed us. You don't need to do anything else.
The thing is, you ask any team that gets into Challenge League or any competition, are you going to win the whole thing? And they will all say yes, because they self-believe. They believe in themselves, and you can't doubt yourself going into something like this. However, if you'd have asked us who we thought would have won, we wouldn't have said that Dunlimited would make a miraculous run through the lower bracket, which is about to happen. They're one round away from going flawless inside of the lower bracket. That doesn't happen, period, let alone here inside a Challenger League.
It's back.
The Monty's back.
It's back.
The match point Monty, the panic Monty.
Oh.
It's not quite a panic. We've seen it a couple of times, but I'd be quaking in my boots.
I feel ill.
I'd be quaking in my boots if I was Dunlimited, because they have just been done by this Monty only a couple of rounds ago. You got to hope for their sake that they don't let it happen again. Dora already knows that he got away with murder. Surely, Demo. Surely. We don't see it happen twice.
Also, they won that round by losing the Thermite from a spawn peak.
Yeah. That was a scary thing.
That's another thing you have to take into consideration. They did it with not a lot to play off. This time they're all alive. The walls are being opened by the Thermite. Dunlimited. Last time, you sat in cash for no reason. No reason at all. You need more people on site if things do hit the pan. Look at Hypex. He's in strip club right now, Ollie.
Oh dear.
Oh, he's
dead.
been caught out. Had to be a pre-placed. 100% there's a pre-placed cam inside a strip club. 110 million%. It's probably up in one of the corners beside the speakers. That's where it would be. Somewhere in there. I think there's one. Is it the southwest corner? I think you can get a really nice drone up it. Somewhere in there, there's probably something. It's really nice. It's a good drone. But yeah, that's 100% the pre-placed, and that's going to pay off massively for Mkers. Having the opening pick onto Hypex, yeah.
Aside from that, not a lot else has happened. Dunlimited showcasing us this very steady style of Siege that they can and are capable of playing. We are going to see the smokes come through now into Logi. This was where we got the Doc drop last time, the Monty drop last time, and it is where we are likely going to see Glaz try and pick off a couple of shots here as well. Dora, he's going to get himself into the action. Looking to Drow try and buddy up as a couple of flashes come through. Kill's going to trade back and forth, but Rorik activates the glasses and is able to take Lolo out on those main stairs. An equal 3 versus 3. Construction control gained. This time, no players dilly-dallying inside of Cash. Instead, they've rotated. They've got themselves into Jim. A nice swing there leads Gemini to be downed as Dora takes a good chunk of damage as well. We are frozen at probably the worst moment possible. Any clue as to what's happened? What?
Anyone?
Game crash on our side.
Was
So the game has crashed. Now we need to decide if it was an observer crash or was it an entire game lobby crash.
Find out next week.
Find
Roll
out next
credits.
time. Well, judging by those players, they ain't playing.
Did this not happen to us last year with Eminem?
Goodness.
Did this not happen last year with us? I swear this happened last year. 100% I'm pretty sure this happened to us last year. Remember it was Nello. Nello was about to clutch up in gym. And then the game crashed. Didn't even remember that. Am I going insane? I swear I've seen this before.
I do remember. I've seen this movie. I've seen it.
We sat through this. This is the remake.
I've played the game. Is it?
I don't know what's happened.
We're actually waiting for confirmation of who won.
Well, get them on the lie detector test. Get them hooked up. Well,
there's nothing we can do to Dunlimited one. What a way to win.
do the background thing, production. Do the victory screen if they. I don't know. Is that what we do now? I don't know.
Honestly. I'm going to give you the line that I had ready, and I'm probably going to butcher it because we're going like, it's like we're trying to record it now, but Dunlimited. A fairy tale run through the lower bracket demo. No team has ever done that inside a Challenger League.
What a great round from them. I'll be honest.
It's a shame.
I'll be honest. I'm pretty sure I could paint the picture. If you think about it, 15 seconds to go, 2 players pushing Logi, 1 player inside of construction, nobody on the Jacuzzi main breach. That player was gone. It was dead ages ago. JEGS swings from Jamin, downs that guy in construction. Last 2 pushing in through Logi. Crossfire's been held from bathroom, being held from main stairs. Remember, it was the Warden retaking main stairs.
Yep.
Not winning that crossfire.
The nice thing was the Warden pick. I think it was a really good read into the way that Mkers wanted to play that, because
they drop him with the glass.
We knew they were using the Monty. We knew they were trying to sort of bully you around there inside of stock. Great play from Dunlimited. Ultimately, they had enough in their strat book today. We kind of poked a little bit of fun at them earlier on, and especially after Bank, which was a very quick affair. It was looking fairly unlikely, in my opinion. You know, we went all the way on Chalet. Chalet was a bloodbath back and forward. One of the best maps that we've seen so far this Challenger League. Mkers, they showed us why they are one of the best teams in the competition over on Bank. But ultimately, Dunlimited had the legs. The little team that could, the team that we didn't really think would have anything much to say, at least not get into the grand finals against 10-star, against all the odds. Certainly, hats off to them. That's going to do it for myself and Demo. We are going to throw you back over to our desk. They're going to break it down and say goodbye. We'll be back in just a few.
Dreams do come true, fairy tales do exist, and if anything, Dunlimited has proven that this evening as they have made the incredible lower bracket run. They've been in it since day one after they lost a 10-star, and now they are facing 10-star once again in the grand finals on the 17th of December. Now, when I say don't let your dreams be memes, that's exactly what I mean, and Dunlimited took it to heart. This game, 7-4. It felt like Mkers unfortunately didn't really have a chance.
this game was a bit of a roller coaster. The amount of stuff we saw from this, the Monty 4K, 2 back-to-back 1v1 post-clans for Dunlimited, it had it all. And especially if you're a Dunlimited fan, you were very much happy for the outcome of that one. Rorik, what a performance from that individual. We've talked about him time and time again. One play that I have to highlight from him in that moment is when they had a buck inside of Logi doing vertical from 2 layers of floor, and he just peeks with Valkyrie, looks up, gets him, shuts it down completely. Confidence to be able to do that, and he's your MVP for good reason. Dunlimited, what a map that was.
It was absolutely brilliant performance by them from start to finish, and it's like it had everything. Absolutely everything. It had comedy, it had class, it had precision, it had action. It was one of the most fun games to watch in true Dunlimited fashion. Another MVP in a different game that's not the same as the one before. And I'm just going to cast my way back to the very first show we did here on Challenger League.
Okay.
And
The fact that you can remember that?
I don't know if production still has the graphic, but there was the graphic that Demo made where he tiered the teams.
Yes.
And
Name and shame.
Yeah, and he had Dunlimited, as far as I remember, at the very bottom. He said that maybe next year.
We don't have it, so we're going to have to take your word for it. But what we do have, however, is an interview with Rorik, the MVP of the match. And once again, we're meeting him once again. This is, I think, his 3rd, 4th, 5th interview at this point. So, Rorik, we meet again. This time, you're smiling, so you're happy?
Yeah, I'm really happy now.
Good.
Because I'm not liar. I said to you tomorrow that we will win.
Prediction.
So it was little prediction.
Yeah, you guys have done an incredible run in the lower bracket. It was 10-Star who have knocked you into it, and you're facing up against 10-Star again. So before we get into all of that, let's talk about Bank. What happened on Bank?
Really, on Bank, they were playing really aggressive. We expected something like this, but it was too aggressive, and we just started struggling in defense. We were scared, to be fair.
Okay.
That's why we lost. And after our defense, like it was 2-4 for us, or for them, I think.
Yep.
In attack, we lost first round, and after this, we just, threw everything.
Well, you guys have...
That's all I can say.
You guys have until the 17th of December, so that's about 2 weeks per my calculations, until your next game is going to be. What will you focus on here?
I think especially we will focus on our maps. We will change some strats, like default things. I don't want to say like a lot because it's preparation stuff. And I want to take revenge against 10-Star personally, because on the second map and the third one I was playing like awful. And I want revenge, really, really hard.
Okay, well, you're gonna get a chance at revenge. So, based on how they have been performing in, the upper bracket, they didn't really drop a map after you guys took one map off of them in that first Playday. So, are you worried? Are you concerned about their performance and how you're?
Not really, because all you need is just JEGS, who won't kill anyone. Like every game he's dropping like 10+ kills, and you just need to kill him, and that's all.
Okay, that's.
I think there are teams that had only one player who can play. In my opinion, it's a bad team.
Okay, I love that. Kill JEGS, that's the strategy. But I think one thing that a lot of people are very impressed by is the fact that you guys have been in the lower bracket since first Playday, and you have made it out of that lower bracket, beating teams that some of us expected to see in the finals. So what did you learn? What is the main takeaway from being in the lower bracket?
First of all, when you play first game, you don't have any pressure because you know that it is last chance. For example, today Mkers were playing the lower bracket first time, and they had some pressure because they don't have any chances to make some like false. I don't know how to say but I think they had some pressure. That's why they lost.
Okay, well, pressure unfortunately broke Mkers, but for you guys, pressure is what pushed you through all the way to the grand final. So I want to say again, congratulations. I hope you guys are very, very proud of yourselves for getting this far. Get some rest, enjoy your prep for the next 2 weeks, and I'm looking forward to seeing your game on the 17th.
Can I say one thing?
Of course, go ahead.
I want to thank for all support, especially community. it's really helps us to to win everyone. We won only because we have some good supporters in our chat, and I want to thank everyone who supports us.
That is very lovely. And I want to thank you guys for the incredible performance we've seen over the last couple of Playdays. Enjoy your rest, and we'll see you soon.
Goodbye.
Thank you. Bye. Dunlimited once again, very confident, very calm, very collected, but this time happy. You know, you said it, you know, they could be winning this whole thing and it'll be like, oh yeah, it's what we expected. But no, there was genuine happiness. They're genuinely relieved. They're out of that lower bracket. They're in the grand finals and they have fought for it. I have a lot of respect for that team.
They're an excellent team. I think you and I saw them from the very start when we were doing groups. A lot of people slept on this team, but if you watch the way that they played in their group, it's very obvious that they're a very good side. And I think they've proved it with the way that they've played over the course of the tournament. They've always come across as confident. You've seen all the interviews.
Absolutely.
That was the first time there was a crack of a smile.
Yes, it was
but
very cute.
Even though we lost the actual action at the end of the game, we still had player cams. And all we got from Army when the game was over was just like, yes, here we go. We're in the final now.
Time to go to bed.
But let's not underestimate how big of a story this CL has been.
Absolutely.
Because you have 10-star who started the season in the depths of UK 2. Like they were at the lowest level you could be at in the UK, you know, that UK national system. And then you have Dunlimited, who didn't even have a national system to play in this year.
Yeah, absolutely.
So nobody knew what to expect from that side. And both of these teams have had incredible years, and now as it stands, they're going to go head-to-head in a Challenger League final. It's everything that anyone could have asked for, except for Demo, because his tier list was wrong.
It's a script. Well, Demo had the wrong script, by the way.
That I think production found it.
Yeah, I changed it.
Are you trying to out-demo? Are you trying to out-tier list?
I mean, it's an incredible... Oh, there it is. It's an incredible storyline. I mean, let's be completely honest here. Mkers and Tenstar have had an incredible run. Both of these teams got head-to-head, toe-to-toe yesterday in the upper finals. And unfortunately, Mkers were the ones to drop to the lower. But Dunlimited coming into this simply because of the fact that we weren't aware what to expect. Because of the fact that, as you said it yourself, they didn't have that regional league. They didn't have a lot of, I would say, potentially, you know, a lot of scrims, a lot of experience playing against other teams. You're coming into this and it's a wild card.
It is. I mean, they've got better every single time we've seen them. You know, there's a reason. Realistically, there's a reason why. You know, Demo said maybe next year, but they managed to make an absolute monster run. Remember, they pushed Tenstar to the limit. Tenstar needed an absolute Herculean map of border from JEGS. I mean, JEGS was able to get a 1v5 clutch in a post plant, then get another 4K the next round after it. And now they go to meet each other again in a best of 3 to decide who are your Challenger League champions. What a story. This is, for both these teams, for both these sides, it is an absolute fairy tale, and I cannot wait to see when they go head to head.
Yeah, but also for the both of you, it has been a little bit of a fairy tale. You guys starting out this year, and now you're here at CL, you know, casting some incredible Siege. So a bittersweet ending, because this is going to be our final time here on the desk for all three of us. And so if you guys at home miss us, really sorry, although I thought that's going to be the case. Emotions, thoughts, feelings, don't cry.
I've already cried. I've been crying in the green room. No, it's been a great year. And I think it's been really a good experience to be here inside the studio as well. Learned a lot about the teams that were here. Got to unfortunately work with Whippet a few more times, but I'm sure we'll get plenty more chances. But this is the thing though, and this is where I become a walking billboard again. This isn't the end of Siege for this year.
Absolutely.
You've got the SI Open Quals coming up next weekend, which no doubt I'll be watching to see how the teams that will be taking part are going to play. You can still sign up on the website. And there's another big event coming up in 2 weeks' time as well. We've got some European finals to deal with Whippet, and they should be a blast to watch as well.
They absolutely will be. But of course, included in that is going to be the final of CL. That's what I'm really watching it for. Because, I mean, as you said, it's been a fantastic year for us. We've seen Tenstar from the very beginning of their little miracle run. We've been there following them, and we've seen them get their ticket punched to Challenger League finals. It's been fantastic. And tell you what, Siege has got a lot of banging games coming up.
Absolutely. So thank you guys for welcoming us, and thank you for tuning in. It was an incredible run here for CL. The next game is going to be Tenstar against Unlimited, and that's going to be the grand finals covered on the 17th of December. So it's a while from now, but please do stay tuned, because this is a match you do not want to miss. Hi, good evening. Take good care of yourselves, and we'll see you at some point.
get the second. Look at Army go. Look what this means for Rorik and
and then Gemini, of course, gets the final kill. What a game he had, Ollie. And Mkers.
Darkness take control. Bye.